Lindsay Clancy's defense team rested its case. Now remember that Clancy admitted to killing her 3 children back in 2023. This trial is to determine if Clancy is criminally liable for the murders. Now following the defense resting its case, prosecutors brought up their first rebuttal witness, another forensic psychiatrist. I want to go live now to CBS News legal contributor Rebecca Royfee. Rebecca, what are your overall thoughts on the defense's case now that they've rested it?
I think the defense did a really good job, especially ending with those medical experts who testified specifically that she was operating.
Cleanup is underway across parts of the Northeast this morning. Powerful storms brought intense rain, flash floods, and possible tornadoes across the region.
Oh my God, it's pulling everything. Oh my God, I can see debris flying.
I would have the same reaction. This is video of a massive funnel cloud in the village of Atlantic Beach, New York.
West to the East Coast, the hits just keep coming. Heavy rain and flooding reportedly doing some of the most damage. In Illinois and Ohio, scene after scene of submerged cars, with first responders having to rescue stranded drivers. Throughout the day Thursday, many of those systems moving east, bringing flooding from D.C. to New York. In New York City, some of that flood water draining down into subway stations. And on Long Island, a water spout coming ashore.
Resistance Chicks. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle. It's Friday, which means we're going to bring you this week's top news stories, which include but are not limited to. I don't even know how to roll into this. Are you guys following the this Lindsay Clancy murder trial? Apparently in January 2023, this mom kills her 3 children. Brutally. And I remember hearing about this when it happened. I don't think that in and of itself, although very tragic, makes it that big of a deal. The problem, and it's spreading everywhere. I mean, everybody has an opinion about this case because for months, she kept trying to get help. And she was saying, there's something wrong with me. I'm not okay. And she was over medicated. I think she was on, please don't quote me on this because we'll get the actual facts in a minute. I think she was on 8 different meds. And so what do you do when you know that something is wrong with you and you're seeking help and the help just isn't the right help? So a lot of people, and it's kind of dividing the conservatives completely in half. You've got a lot of people that are saying she has to walk which I don't think she should walk. But she, can't be held responsible because of this, for this, because she was seeking help and she was trying to get help. And she was saying, I might do something to my kids. She's warning everybody that she possibly can. And so that's a cry for help because what do? They tell you, why didn't you just get help? Well, she tried. It just didn't help. They couldn't help her. They tried with meds and that didn't do it. And then you got the other side that's saying essentially that the whole, why didn't she just get help? She's a murderer. Nobody would be able to kill their kids like this from postpartum depression or you're just a psychopath. Okay. We're going to break down the story. I think Leah's got a lot of clips from the defense actually rested its case today. And everybody has something to say about it. I was talking to Leah about it last night and I was like, you know what? We're not in that jury. We're not in that courtroom. So I think that it's difficult to say what should happen in this specific case. I think that it is not difficult to kind of talk about the facts all around and say, here's, this caveat, this caveat, this caveat, and then and break it down from there. So that's what we are going to do today. And then I don't know if you guys are getting sick of us talking about weather, but like we can't not talk about it because it keeps happening. And it's not just like, oh, the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains. It's not that. No, this is like insane weather. This is the I don't trust what y'all doing in the clouds weather. This is stop messing with science weather. Hi, Leah. Welcome to my show.
Welcome to your show.
So glad you could join us. So kind of you.
You know, dogs have a way of doing their own thing.
What happened? Is that I'm hearing panting.
Oh, that's Eden right there.
Okay.
No, that's just me. I'm hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
You knew I had to do that, right?
That was.
Now you have slobber on you. We have my saliva on you.
Did you really touch?
I did. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I did.
It's so gross.
It was tiny. It was so tiny.
You don't have to actually.
It was tiny.
Touch your tongue with your finger to do the thing.
Lorraine.
Ugh.
You know, when my friends tune in to watch, I can see that you're here. It's okay. I don't see when you leave, but I can see when you show up. Haven't seen you in forever. Do you know how many times Leah says to me, I'm going to reach out to Lorraine. I miss Lorraine. How many times you said that? Lorraine, girl. My New Jersey girl.
In New Jersey stays mainly in
New Jersey. I know. Missed you. So glad you're here. Okay, so, all right, I'm checking on all my streams here. So the weather. Back to the weather. What is going on?
I don't know. I don't even know.
So we got a lot of weather clips today.
We have some weather clips.
Do you want to start with the weather, or do you want to start with this like complete? I have a sneaking suspicion that
we
this
better do that
Lindsay
last.
Clancy thing is going to just take up the whole show. Am I right about that?
We should do her that last.
Or is this going to be a 3-hour show? Are we buckling up? Do we need to get popcorn? Get some food?
It was going to be a 3-hour tour, and then we were stuck on an island for many years, and the clothes never got bad and wore out.
I am so glad I never watched that show.
And they always had perfect curls and makeup on the island.
I know.
See,
it makes sense for Star Trek, right? They're like futuristic, so you can get anything you want. You just put in the replicator, you need it, you got it. Boom. Why are we talking about that? Is that your like? Was it your hurricane
show?
Oh, the 3-hour show.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough.
No, we are going to start.
Oh, Lorraine, she says I'm driving and listening with my hubs. Hi, Lorraine's hubs. Miss you guys too. We need to catch up. Let's do a phone call.
Okay, so actually, I'm going to start with the most uncomfortable clip.
Oh, no, that's the worst.
Of our show. So how many of you know that Lindsey Graham mysteriously passed away? He was an architect of all things neocon.
Evil.
Not all evil things, but all things neocon, which would be all these foreign interventionary wars. No one could ever explain to us why he never married. I do believe it had something to do with DC bathhouses. However, he has a sister, and his sister seems rather conservative and a nice person. So Trump wanted to pick this nice person to fill his seat, his vacant seat that you can just appoint. He suggested it. And I guess the South Carolina governor appointed Lindsey Graham's sister to the seat for 6 months.
I'm just so curious. Just help me out here, Leah, because I feel pretty strong in my American history and in my government, like my knowledge of the government. My understanding with our founding fathers and the construction of our government was that we didn't want to do like lords and ladies.
Nepotism.
No, well, not just that, but like what it, you know,
keep it in the family. Royalty.
We don't do royalty.
Royalty.
You know what I mean? You don't get a lordship that then passes on to your son.
Well, tell that to everybody who keeps voting for Kennedy.
No, but you're voting for that person. You don't get to just like, you don't.
Crown someone king.
Legit question because
John Quincy ran.
He ran for office.
Yeah.
She was appointed. Now she's running, and we're going to talk about that. But she was appointed.
Okay. Let's get to this because regardless, she's got a 6-month stint here, and Trump decided that she should actually run.
But she has zero qualifications to be appointed. It's just because she's his sister.
We didn't know that. We didn't know that she didn't have the qualifications until today. until
knew.
yesterday.
I knew she didn't have any political experience.
Oh, you just knew out of the...
I'm saying she had zero political experience.
But
You don't get
we-
to just be appointed because you're related to somebody
they
that
do
was
it
in
all
office.
the time.
No.
That's how serving up in Alaska.
Stop
she
it.
took her dad's seat and keeps winning. Okay.
She was she was appointed?
She was appointed, and then they kept voting her in. And then they had to rig the system so that Sarah Palin couldn't knock her out. It's a long story. But
Okay.
regardless, there is actually a precedent for this.
Well, it's a dumb one.
It started as a sentimental gesture that would have her serve a mere 6-month custodian, while real candidates, I need to bring on a little Southern drawl here, we're going to South Carolina, vied in a special primary to replace Lindsey Graham on the November ballot. However, does it say what she actually did? Yeah, I'll get to what she does. Okay.
So we're not ready to screen share yet.
You can
It's
screen-
fine.
You can
No,
see
it's
her
fine.
face. So she was only supposed to serve for 6 months, just kind of as a custodian, and then real candidates would vie for a primary to replace Lindsey Graham on the November ballot. However, it suddenly turned into the latest bewildering Trump endorsement, with the president pushing the utterly inexperienced woman to enter the primary and serve the full 6-year term that would start in January.
Your
Darling,
Southern
stop
accent
it.
is
Let
not
me-
good. It's
it's
British.
good. It
You've
is-
made it British.
No, just
Yes, you
listen. That's how
did.
she talks. Hang on.
No, it's not how she
Darling
talks.
Graham has never held an elected office until this summer.
What accent is that?
Let me do this in my story.
It's a terrible accent.
I don't care. It's my story. You can do your own bad accent.
Can't you just do it a little
She
bit?
was commissioner of the South Carolina Commission for the Blind, and earlier held a communications role in the South Carolina Vocational Rehabilitation Department. It doesn't mean that she can do anything in the political realm, okay? Despite Trump's endorsement, Graham only managed to attract 33% of the vote in the special August 11th balloting, forcing her into an August 26th runoff, thank you, Jesus, against second place finisher Norman, who earned 25%. You see, this woman who you're getting ready to see a tiny little clip from actually might have won. She got 33 to this Norman guy. We don't know nothing about Norman, but I'm thinking Norman knows a little bit more. I am
My
guessing.
vote's for Norman.
Okay, so I need y'all to see this clip of Lindsey Graham's sister and her, and you just need to see it.
On the national security question as well, Senator, are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? If so, why?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States, and if so, why or how?
Middle's just kind of nodding.
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security, so.
I tried, y'all.
But I do support the military. My brother was in the Air Force for 33 years, so I will do everything I can to support the military. My dad was in the Army.
not
I'm
even
not a
cracking a
polished
smile.
politician up here. National security is not my thing.
It's not my
Not my
thing.
area of expertise, but I do support.
Do you need to see it again?
I can't. That's the second time you made me watch it earlier.
That's the third time I've seen it.
Leah.
That's the third time. Now I need you all to understand something. She must never, ever have spoken to Lindsey Graham for like 5 minutes. If your brother is quite literally the foreign policy guru of the Senate, when you get together for Thanksgiving, do you not pick up anything? Doesn't he say anything? To the point where you're saying, I'm not a foreign policy expert. Honey, child, what did you think that they were going to ask you at this debate? Like, now, I understand that answering the question might have required some nuance when we're talking about the South China Sea and we're talking about Taiwan. But at least you know your cell phone might be made there, okay? Like, throw in something, anything at all, and just
think about literally like you just whatever, there's a lot of objects that say made in Taiwan. Get something, okay?
say, I think that the U.S. has a national interest in Taiwan. We have a lot of electronics made there. We have an interest in making sure that China doesn't swallow them up like a great big giant shark going, baby
Really? Do you
shark,
think that would have been better? That would have been,
shark.
Baby Shark would have been better than what she did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. Go back to the article. So somebody pulled up an old clip from a 2007 South Carolina Miss America pageant question. And they're saying it reminds them of the same thing.
Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
That is exactly what just happened. But
I will make sure that we support our military because my brother was in the military and then my dad was in the Army.
Stop it.
So I know things. I know, you know what I know? I know that our military works in foreign countries sometimes.
Leah.
And so my brother was in the military. It doesn't say that her brother ever left the United States or her father. But if you're talking about foreign countries, you're talking about the military, and I will support them.
I'm going to give Mrs.
That's kind of a better way to even say it.
What is her name again? This Graham sister?
I don't even know her first name.
We'll scroll up. She's got to have a name.
It doesn't say. It just says Darlene.
Darlene Graham. Okay. She's not married? Neither of them got married? Okay.
Too many bathhouses in this family.
Darlene. I'm going to just give you a couple of hints, couple of pointers.
Darlene. Go ahead, keep going.
If you don't know, better than what you did, utilize what's been given you and just take a guess. Don't say, here's the deal. That's not how, some people might admire her honesty.
Just say that the United States has a strategic interest. The question was, do you think the United States has a strategic interest in Taiwan?
Well, I think they said there was a threat.
And just say, yes, we have a strategic interest in Taiwan.
Yes, and we need to take a strong stance. And here's the deal. The South China Sea, go with China. And you already know.
What do you know about China?
What do you know about
just
China?
Kind of pull it
China's
from your
a threat,
hat.
right? China's a threat.
Pull, girl, pull. Anything is better than.
To admit,
I'm not into foreign policy.
No, she said it's not my thing. Clearly, it's not your thing. Leslie said, I thought y'all were going to talk about Lindsay Clancy. Leslie, yes, we are, but Friday is our headline news show, so we do several stories.
We're keeping you on the edge of your seat.
You got to stay on the edge of your seat. You got to stick around.
We got a 3-hour tour, okay? If you would like to come back in an hour, we might be on Miss Lindsay Clancy, and I'm going to tell you something. It is heartbreaking. Yeah. So let's get our laughs out of the way because we all going to be crying by the end of this show.
Well, yeah.
Okay? And we got some commercial breaks. We're going to make you laugh. We're going to make you smile. And then you're going to cry, and you're going to go to sleep crying.
Oh,
so let's laugh first.
Deb says, at least she's honest. J.N. Polishek said, if you were following the Darlene Graham story from the very beginning, before they stalked the internet with fake background, there was absolutely no presence to prove she existed. Prior to this, Wicked Psych says,
I don't even think they're related.
All they care about is how much fundraising she can do and what donors she can bring to the table. Anyway.
Okay, commercial break right from the get-go.
Okay.
Michelle, what do you think about this? This is a really cool idea. This is a cool idea. Using highway guardrails as a gutter for rain control on a gravel driveway.
Okay. Oh, here we go. I found it.
So these are highway guardrails, and we just dig them in and set them in there, and that's it.
Love it.
No longer have to drag this hill.
Yeah, come on.
At all. Okay, you see this?
Yeah.
See how the water, we just got a ton of rain. Really quick, lots of rain. Usually this would trash the driveway. All right, so you see how it's starting to flow down.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
Love it. Let's go. Brilliant. There it goes.
So we
There's
have
your
a shovel
farm
that we
There's some
usually use,
ingenuity
but
for you.
This is the entirety of the maintenance on this. Is you come through and you
digging
just get it out of the way,
Unintended.
and then eventually I'll come through with a shovel and kind of dig it out.
Come on.
You got to do what you got to
The
do when
next
you're trying to
guardrail
do
down.
erosion control.
So we've been getting
right?
a lot of rain lately.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
That's awesome.
This is good news. Skip the next one. Go to the next one. Justin, stunning data reveals Christianity is surging in the United States. Bible
Revival
sales
across the country. Bible
are
sales
up.
increasing over 40% since 2022. Religion app downloads surging nearly 80%.
Come on.
That increase since 2019. And Christian music Spotify streams up 50% from 2019. Our next...
Woo! Hallelujah.
Pray the Lord. Pray the Lord. Pray the Lord. Hopefully y'all aren't joining no cults.
What is this?
Okay. RFK Jr. says Fauci paid UNC scientist Ralph Barrick to develop a technique called no-see-um.
No-see-um? Nuh-uh.
Like, yeah.
No.
Which makes pathogens more dangerous and covers up the evidence of human manipulation. Barrick went on to teach this technique to the bat lady. Remember her from Wuhan Lab? Guys, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to keep talking about this. This is 2026. This was 6 years ago. I do not want to talk about this anymore. I want this to be over. But the fat lady has not sung, okay?
Was lying
Bat
about...
lady has not sung. Now, Fauci knew this, then spent years telling the public COVID came from a natural origin. RFK Jr., here you go.
The origins from day one. Why was he lying? Because he funded those studies at the Wuhan lab, and he funded the studies at the University of North Carolina that developed the techniques for weaponizing COVID-19, and then gave those, Ralph Barrick, his funded scientist at the University of North Carolina, gave those to Xi Jinping, the scientist, the bat lady scientist in the Wuhan lab, and he taught her a technique that Anthony Fauci had paid him to develop called seamless ligation, which is also called no-see-um. It's a way of manipulating the virus to make it deadly to human beings and then covering up the evidence of human manipulation. And why would anybody spend NIH money developing that kind of technology? It's bioweapons technology. It has nothing to do with public health. It's the opposite. It's the inverse of anything you would want to do with public health. Well, he took that and he gave it to the Chinese military lab at Wuhan. So these are, and as you mentioned at the beginning of this, we today, NIH, has now issued a policy to make sure these kind of experiments can never happen again, that NIH will never again pay for a dangerous gain-of-function experiment.
Hopefully.
I don't know.
So they really tried to kick him off.
They
and
did.
He
That
just
music
kept going.
was just bum, bum, ba-da-dum,
Get
bum.
off, get off. We don't want to hear what you have to say. So yeah, I don't know if there will be COVID accountability ever. A lot of people's lives been ruined. Our business tanked for over a year, 2 years. Everybody's pocketbook, we call it that anymore, wallet is being hit with inflation. So yeah, I think accountability has to go a little bit farther.
Yeah.
All right, commercial break.
Okay.
Little girl has an apron full of carrots.
Let's go.
And she knocks on the...
Cute.
So she
You're
has
gonna
no
get one
hair,
of the
but they
horse.
still are pigtails. So she knocks on these little stalls. Absolutely adorable.
That's what you call knee-high to a grasshopper. She's going to eat it too. Hey,
Can
hey,
I have...
hey.
Wait,
Nope,
no,
nope,
you're
nope.
eating my carrot. It's my carrot. Oh, wait, you can
I'll
have
share it. I'll share it. He comes way down for her. Oh, I got it. I got it from you, little thing. I love that she has a carrot apron. Like, it's got carrots on
Those
it.
are big carrots. Wait, I need a bite first.
She's got enough teeth.
Let's give it to Jenny.
Stop it. The podcast listeners, I don't even know why you even listen to our podcast.
Walking away
Gotta
with
see
the
this stuff.
The horse didn't
the horse
come.
came in.
Wait.
Look at that dog with the little sweatshirt. Oh, I got you. I got you. Holy cow. Oh, don't drop it. Don't drop it. Don't drop it.
She's like got these little weapons.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
You don't want it.
Oh, he's ready. He's not even messing around. Oh, faked out. Faked out. Leah. That horse better get his carrot. He's like, dude, I'm here. I'm here. Little thing. Come here. Come here. 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 I'm going to reach it. Oh, hi. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Now, what about the horse that was ready, little thing? Oh, I lost it. I thought there was one more. Oh, okay. Here we go. Nope. Oh. He's ready. Whoa. Okay, I want that other horse to get the carrot. Oh no, you missed the one that was ready. No.
This horse.
Right
here.
Having a
This one.
meltdown here and there.
I need
hang
to
on,
buy
wait.
first.
I gotta get a tip of it myself.
Me too. I feel
We're
that
sharing.
way. I feel the same way about carrots.
Nope,
Before I
nope,
feel
that horse. That
no. Wait a minute.
That horse is not gonna let this little child go. Here, come here, kid. Come here, kid. Gimme.
She's gonna eat all the carrots.
Would you forget? This one? Okay, let's give it to that one.
Okay, here I come. Here I come. Here I come. You ready? We're ready. That's a little high up. There we go. That's a big horse.
Okay.
Okay, we got an extra carrot.
Last one.
Oh, we have another horse? What was it, 6? I
Come
love
on,
that these horses
Stella.
are ready. Like, come here, little thing. I'm ready to take this carrot from you. Take your finger off. Oh, look at that. So sweet. Those are so big.
Okay,
No
so
more.
that
Good
was
job.
adorable.
That
All
was
right.
really fun.
So in Dearborn, Michigan is the Sharia capital of America.
Yeah.
They have a Sharia crazy mayor and a bunch of Muslims that want to take over the world. And this guy comes in and gives this like Christian crusader type speech, and I'm here for it.
Listening to you guys come up here, you guys want to talk about how you're being honest and you're speaking from the heart. Not one of you people that come over and speak without a freaking script in your hands, word for word reading it. You got a mayor that tells an American citizen that he cannot be welcome in Dearborn, Michigan if he doesn't want a damn terrorist on the name of a street. You got members on the board over there laughing at American citizens when they're concerned about Sharia law and the Muslims that are telling us we're going to take over your city. We have Hassan Piker saying we're going to do things to your women. And we're saying, oh, this is peaceful? That you people came here to give us peace? You guys came here to conquer us. This is the Crusades all over again. You're going to think you're going to take this country without firing a shot? How about this? How about the American citizens say, no, you're not going to do this. That's right. We're going to stand up. We're going to tell you, everybody here, from felons to normal people, Bible thumpers, little grannies everywhere. Tell this Muslim invasion you're not going to happen in the United States of America, not while Christian crusaders are standing here blocking you. And that's all I got to say. God bless you.
So this is what I love. He's all tatted up, right? He says, everybody from felons to normal people to little grannies. This is the
Bible
Christian
thumpers.
Crusades.
Come
and we're
on.
not going to let you do this. Our Christian
Let's
country, us
go.
felons and the normies and the grannies. We're all uniting. And the guy filming says, amen. God bless us all.
Leslie said, I'm in Michigan and 6 hours from Dearborn. It's a scary thought to think that they do want to conquer us.
They
it's
do.
a slow fade.
We need to pray.
We are praying, God, please set Michigan
Jesus'
free
name.
in the name of Jesus.
Okay, this was really sad. It's a little disturbing. Atlanta cops bust into windowless trailer to rescue 2 kidnapped girls. Somebody, I don't know what happened, like who heard like a noise.
Hey, we got bolt cutters. We got bolt cutters.
Yeah.
Give them cover. Give them
It's not like a trailer park trailer.
Right.
Come on, D. There we go. 1, 2. Yeah. All right, come back.
Contact. Show me your hands.
Hands. Kids. Female to the far left.
Where?
Do not Stop! Move! Hey, ma'am, call out to us. Keisha! Cover that door. Cover that door. Santos got it.
They don't know who's in
Listen,
right?
we're trying. Hey,
Listen,
Keisha, put your hands up. Put your hands up. Santa,
Yeah, but they're yelling.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh, you shouldn't be yelling at children, but they don't know there's somebody else in there.
You're all right. Here. Come on, baby. You good? He's good. I got it.
What's this story?
Okay, I'm getting up. I'm getting up. I'm getting up. I got her other hand. I'm trying to. Can I get up? My legs stuck. My legs are stuck. That's why I'm asking you. All right.
Okay, so you can close that out, but then you can click on the link, okay? But it is New York Post. You're gonna get a lot of ads.
New York Post is the worst.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
sharing that.
dramatic body cam shows cops rescuing young girls allegedly snatched by fake babysitter. So, rescuing 2 young girls from a trailer unsuitable for human habitation after they were allegedly kidnapped by a woman posing as a babysitter.
So the black woman is the babysitter?
5 years after she was accused of snatching a newborn. Zola Cooper, 4, and her 11-month-old sister, Nora Cooper, were rescued Monday, a day after they were reported critically missing by their mom. And the police deemed the girls to be in extreme danger. The girls had been picked up Saturday night by Lakeisha Brown with the mom, unaware that the fake babysitter is awaiting trial for kidnapping a 4-day-old newborn in 2021. We have to have swifter justice than that. Brown used a mom's group on social media to befriend Redding over a year, describing herself as part of a support system that assisted mothers with babysitting and related services. It is the identical tactic she used 5 years ago to take a newborn from his mom. Brown posed as a babysitter through social media group and gained the trust of unsuspecting mothers before kidnapping their children. The alarm was raised when Brown failed to drop them back off as expected, with the suspect initially telling the mom her daughters had been in a car accident.
No.
The mother thought she was leaving her children in the care of someone she could trust. The girls were reported missing. And
how did they
had
find
an
them in the
Amber Alert there,
trailer?
and then cops received a tip-off on Monday and swooped on an apartment complex where they heard a baby wailing from this windowless trailer in 97 degrees heat.
No.
One officer used bolt cutters to break into the trailer, which cops described as unsuitable for human habitations, before the girls were brought to safety. Nora, who was wearing diapers, was brought out of the trailer first, and then Zola. Brown was also found inside the trailer. This is what is insane. So she's obviously working with somebody, because she is not a magician.
She was locked in that trailer in 97 degrees.
So there's got to be somebody else. There's got to be more to this story.
Oh my!
It's locked from the outside.
Are you going to be able to follow this story? Because now I need to know.
I don't know. But God, thank you for rescuing those kids.
Amen.
Jeez, absolutely insanity.
Wow.
Absolutely insanity. Okay, next one.
Okay.
This is a commercial break.
Okay.
So, when you have bird feeders, you will have squirrels.
Wait, let me close this one.
And
here.
it is a battle to try to feed the squirrels, or feed the birds, but not the squirrels.
Sure. Okay.
So here's the bird feeder. It's out in the open,
birds,
and
happy
so
birds,
that should be just for birds. Nope.
No.
That is one dizzy and determined. It's almost like Cirque du Soleil.
Oh my gosh.
Cirque
no
du Soleil
way.
squirrels out. Watch it again. Watch it again.
No.
Ready? On your mark. Get set. We are Cirque du Soleil ourselves in the backyard, guys. If you don't need to go, you don't need to spend $100 a ticket. No, you can have Cirque du Soleil.
Gosh.
You get another bird feeder.
Is hanging
and they'll just go from feeder to feeder.
He deserves that bird seed.
After that, yeah.
100%.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure when to go to weather, but here we go. We're going to weather now. This is devastation through this is in Hawaii after the rain.
Stop it.
Let me get the numbers on the rain. It was the hurricane kind of went over them. It wasn't hurricane damage. It was flooding damage. How much rain did?
So for the podcast listeners, this is rocks. Gigantic rocks. Are you seeing these rocks, Leah?
Yeah.
How does water move all of those rocks?
3 feet of rain. That's what it is. It's 3 feet of rain. 3 feet. That's
I've never seen anything
this.
like that with all those rocks.
It's you. I mean, I don't know how you would I don't know, 3 feet of rain. Like, you don't measure rain in feet, Casey. If you got 3 inches of rain, that's a lot of rain. 1 inch of rain at one time is a lot of rain. 32 inches of rain, that's what
Look
you
at
get.
these trees. Like
it's
they look like pine trees. I don't know.
a lot of those houses look pretty old. So what my thought here is that this has not happened before.
Look at this car. It's like buried up to the wheel wells. Oh my gosh, this is terrifying. Like, if you're there when that water comes through and you're not on the roof of your house, you're dead.
I know.
You're just like,
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
You know, it's interesting. Like when this happened to Western North Carolina, like it was all over the news. Why is I feel like this is not on the news enough.
It was pretty quick. It was pretty crazy.
You know, like this is insane. I've never seen anything like this.
So wow, I know. My very first YouTube, it says Hurricane Lala missed Hawaii, but it didn't matter because the rain just. Where's
the commentary?
Where's the commentary?
I think it's Layla. No,
but you run from water, and this is why.
I didn't like this Christmas tree. I was thinking of it all night. Yeah, I didn't like the Christmas tree. I was kind of worried that it might come down, and sure enough did. But now I'm happy that it didn't hurt anybody, and now I don't have to worry about it.
The rain is a lot of water.
So you know when the Bible talks about God being like a mighty rushing river?
Woo!
For those of you new to the channel, I'm Jonathan Petramala. I travel the world covering extreme weather, and most importantly, I tell the stories of the people impacted by it. This video, though, is going to be a little different. I'm going to let the images of what Hurricane Lala did as it passed by the Big Island tell the story for themselves. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And if you want to support independent journalism, please like and subscribe to this video.
Okay, so let's turn that down. There's a lot of, that's so much.
I want to hear a little bit of the water. I can't hear it now.
Okay. It's unreal. Let me know if that's too loud, guys. Oh my gosh. And here's the thing, is you can tell that it's not a normal waterfall because of the color, right? It's brown.
So yeah.
Like it's
almost black.
It looks like a root beer float.
It kind of does. Boiling pot.
I mean, you know what my mind thinks about,
I guess,
things, but wow. You want to watch all 8 minutes of this?
No, we can skip some.
Let's go here.
Volcano Kilauea eruption. Perfect time. And now I get a hurricane.
Yeah, just the albizia trees. Yeah, soft wood, high, big canopies, a lot of surface area. Those fall, they cause a lot of damage.
So this is like, still, look at the wind. I would not be driving there. No, absolutely not. I'm not driving through that. At any moment, a tree could come down on your car, I feel like.
In Louisiana, that just can't happen here. Our mountains protected us.
I think this was the closest in recorded history, at least, a hurricane did come.
It is. This is as good as it gets. And going off of South Point, but again, interesting on the forehand, you know, there were certain models that showed the path coming straight towards Hilo. There's no chance. There's no chance. The mountain from even hundreds of miles away is going to push an eye down below the mountain, and then when it reaches South Point, even South Point, which is a little bit exposed, is going to keep that storm away.
We got the water. All right, who else got water? New York got just torrential.
Oh my God. So this is
water pouring into the subway station.
Like that's untenable. I mean, it like, oh my gosh. It's just literally water.
No, I don't feel like it's a good time to start to ride it.
I don't want to do it. I don't like subways anyway.
You know, it feels like when you're seeing water come down like that, like
with the electrical right there,
ceilings coming down.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
What was that Sylvester Stallone movie where they were like
This
in
is,
the thing, the tunnel,
the next one
daylight
has
or something? It's freaking me out.
water on the stove.
Country's down. It's so loud. There's so much rain. All the podcast listeners are going to get this, just the sound of water.
Rain, just yes. Okay, the next one here, cars just submerged here.
No.
It's just so gross. I'm feeling very gross right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So this is Brooklyn. For the podcast listeners, there's a wrought iron fence that is it wrought? Whatever.
No, you're right. It's wrought iron,
that the water is up to the tips. That's crazy. That's not okay.
What do you think of the support for?
No.
Okay,
now we need to jump.
I can jump.
We need to jump to number 4 from the left. No Facebooks.
Like here?
Oh my God!
Yeah. Oh, what is
Overnight,
this?
wild storms drenching the Northeast. On New York's Long Island, a state of emergency and dramatic water spouts tearing through the Atlantic Beach area. Cabanas at a popular beach club torn apart. Powerful thunderstorms dumping heavy rain and causing flash flooding across parts of neighboring New York City and New Jersey, too. Dover, Delaware, also under a state of emergency after a reported tornado touched down there overnight, causing significant damage.
Well, that is a slight tornado right there.
That's a different, yeah.
Storms ripping the roof off a motel seen from the road. Multiple tornadoes in Graves County, Kentucky, crumpling this giant grain bin and knocking over a gas station canopy.
Yep, just hit me and that'll make it better.
High winds splintering trees and damaging this high school in Columbia, Pennsylvania. While multiple counties in central Ohio are drying out after getting soaked Thursday with nearly 4 inches of rain.
If you didn't get hit last week, you
the
got hit this week.
downpours flooding neighborhoods, submerging parks and cars.
The flood, all this. I can't even see my basement.
In other parts of the country, people looking for ways to beat the oppressive heat. Out west, temperatures soaring into the 90s. The Poudre School District in Colorado dismissing students 2 hours early because they don't have air conditioning in stifling classrooms.
The National Weather Service will send teams
Somebody's
here today
hitting
to
all the
survey
buttons.
all of this damage
You
to
hot,
see if they
you
can confirm
cold,
that a
you
tornado
wet,
did
you dry.
in fact touch down. And guys, safe to say this beach club will remain temporarily closed. Savannah.
All right, Valerie, thank you.
So much rain, so many storms. That sets us up for Dylan Dreyer. She's in for Alice.
Check the next, the next one.
Oh my God!
This is the same
Okay,
one.
so then go to the area.
Facebook?
No, Facebooks. I don't think.
To the weather now, and a line of potentially damaging storms slamming the mid-Atlantic at this hour after downpours triggered dozens of flash floods earlier in Ohio. Lonnie Quinn from CBS New York tracking it all.
Fierce rain swamped central Ohio. About 7 inches of rain fell overnight, triggering flash floods and dozens of water rescues this morning. Surging water submerged homes and cars. Several motorists were also rescued as floodwaters just overwhelmed the roadways.
Oh my God.
This video from Zanesville shows water taking over a bridge, cutting off access to the road.
Wow. God bless you guys.
2 people were rescued from a homeless encampment in Columbus after rising water flooded the camp. 5 other people are still missing. This all comes from that storm that pounded Illinois overnight. Several cars were seen stuck in high water. In Kansas and Nebraska, the intense rain took many people by surprise, quickly flooding low-lying roads. The wind-driven storm also knocked down utility lines and tree limbs.
Power lines down, branches everywhere, debris everywhere, so you can't get in and out.
Well, that storm system I just showed you in the Midwest is right on top of New York City right now. In fact, New York City, under heavy rain, has a flash flood warning that stays in effect for for 2 more hours. If you take a look at the maps, here's the situation. We have an area lit up in south.
Okay, so let's go back over here to like the second Twitter from the Nope. The one next to it. Come back to that one. It's yeah. So this is New York again.
I'm sorry, this is so loud, guys. Literally underwater. Oh my gosh. I don't even understand this. Like, I can't wrap my brain around that.
And the car's like stuck in it.
Yeah. Shoot.
Yep.
I hope your insurance covers covers that. You don't have comprehensive, you're in trouble.
So the next one is a tornado that whipped through Dover, Delaware on Thursday evening. Just last night.
Get out.
Yeah. You don't think of tornadoes in Delaware.
Oh, shoot.
So
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And then I'm just thinking to myself now, it's me and how good is the glass on the car? You know? And I duck and cover.
Stop it. Like this is when they teach you to find an overpass or something.
Duck and cover.
And why are you still moving forward?
I don't know. Like,
how long is this video?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You got another
absolutely insane weather. Commercial break.
Okay. Okay. There's a mama bear.
Yeah.
On a little creek on a log.
Yeah.
Okay. Going back over the log. Hey, jumping up. Oh, good baby bears. This is a baby bear. Oh, there's 3 of them. Oh my gosh. That's so cute. Oh, I love it. Hey, guys. Hey, guys.
One almost fell.
Stop it. Oh, come on, Leah. That's so cute.
I know. Okay, this one is my favorite one of the week.
You ready?
Yes.
You showed me this already. Little cattle dog and a cat on its hind legs. Cat's trying to play with the dog. Dog just pushes the cat over. Oh my gosh. We're watching that again. Is the cat trying to play with the dog?
Yes.
Hey, watch me.
Okay,
That's
skip the
awesome.
next one.
Okay.
We did that one.
We did the gutters.
Oh, this one's really sad and gross.
What's this one? Did we watch this one? Okay, we did this one already.
Yeah.
Close that.
So
Matt Van Swall.
There is
at least 8 women.
This guy.
No.
This monster has been on the loose.
You're freaking me out.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna get the details on this before.
Well, how about we just let her say it? Let's just listen.
Men over the span of 30 years is now accused of sexual assaults in a 3rd metro Atlanta county. We've mapped out all 3 of those counties for you here: Douglas, Cobb.
Well, so there's this serial rapist, and they think that they found as many as 25 victims.
No.
And they finally found this guy. He would film his victims.
And that's where Channel 2's Tom Jones joins us live. Tom, you spoke with a woman who knows the suspect and says these new charges are long overdue.
Karen Amber Jones says this should have happened a long time ago, but she's relieved it's happening now. Meantime, deputies here wonder if there are more victims in this county. I talked to people in this county, and they say it's scary knowing a suspected serial rapist was roaming their community.
Oh, I cannot believe this.
You don't like hearing this?
No, I don't.
People who live in Paulding County are stunned that investigators now say a suspected serial rapist in Douglas County and Cobb County has attacked a woman here as well.
He needs to be put in jail, for sure.
Yeah.
And not get out.
Bobby Lee Hart Jr. is in jail. This all began when the Douglas County District Attorney announced Hart had been arrested in 2025, accused of attacking women for more than 30 years.
Hart is a suspect in multiple sexual assaults dating back to the early 1990s in the West Georgia region.
A grand jury indicted Hart in 7 assaults. Then a grand jury in Cobb County indicted him for another attack. Now Paulding County is set to announce details of another assault. Amber Jones says Hart would come into her job and hit on women and call them names when they refused his advances. She says he would also show up at parks pursuing women at Little League games. I asked Jones what took so long for alleged victims to come forward.
I think it was people were scared. I really genuinely think people were scared.
With so many women coming forward now, some say fear is no longer a concern.
I'm glad the victims are finally coming forward.
And Hart is being held in the Cobb County Jail.
Oh, wow.
So this guy, he is called the West Georgia Monster, who has been essaying women and filming it in Metro Atlanta for 30 years. He's finally been arrested. He trapped them in his car, rigged the lock so they couldn't escape, and filmed every assault. And he walked free every time. Prosecutors say Hart is a serial SA whose attacks stretch from 1996 all the way to 2022. He has been arrested multiple times for stalking and harassing women, Court records now link him to at least 13 women, but there are certainly more. In Douglas County alone, he's been indicted on 18 charges tied to 7 different women, including kidnapping and holding another against her will. Search warrants say he lured women into cars, then rigged the locks so they were trapped inside with him. And how do they find him? DNA, a cold case essay from 2006 that's unsolved for 19 years until National DNA Database matched it to Hart days after his arrest. One by one, the cold cases started falling. There's now a private group of survivors, nearly 400 members strong.
What?
Yes, 400
How does
strong.
this guy get away with it? How did he walk every time? I don't understand.
Ridiculous that it took 30 years to catch him, for sure. Punished the judges who kept releasing this guy so quickly. And this is the result of the Alfred Kinsey just absolutely diabolical move to go from state to state to state and to say that women are not affected by rape and children are not affected by being assaulted. That's the legacy of Alfred Kinsey. And now we have what's called the Model Penal Code, which gives slaps on the wrist to these guys.
Well, you know, what I find so disturbing is that, unfortunately, in America, all you hear about is the men that say any woman can just accuse you of rape, and all these women, yada 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 yada. I'm here to tell you that my personal experience with people who have been raped is that every single time the case gets thrown out, every single time the police do not take it seriously, every single time,
I know, yeah,
the rapist walks free. So don't give me this garbage of women falsely accusing men and all these men that are getting falsely accused. I'm sorry if that ever happens. Like, I am so sorry if that ever happens. But most of the time, almost all of the time, the rapist walks free. 100%. Like, it, not 100%, but I'm just saying that's my colloquialism. Like, it's ridiculous how much. I mean, the one story that we knew of, the girl tried to.
I think Michelle is referring to 2 very specific stories where the police would not do anything.
But then we've covered stories over the years where the police don't do anything. Like when it happens and then the victim says, can you go and go to where it happened and collect evidence? And they don't. They don't do anything. They don't ask questions. They don't investigate.
Yeah. All right. So this next one here is before and after photos, shows the devastation of the hurricane. Your Lala is a ridiculous name for a hurricane, by the way. But that's absolutely insane.
No way. Oh, wow. That's awful.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Okay. Don't go to that one yet. We're saving that for last. How many other stories? Hang on. Okay. Commercial break. There's a couple commercial breaks I have in here.
What is this?
This is a donkey that has a cow friend.
I'll get his copyright on that. Oh my gosh. I need a donkey though.
I need both a cow and a donkey.
Or a little cow. Oh, that's got to be like a little cow. Like a little kind of calf cow. Oh my God. They're cuddling. They're cuddling.
So cute.
That is adorable. I can sing the song. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, moo.
Okay, so this next one. So we pets that you guys know for a living, and we have don't play it yet. Just hold on a second.
Okay.
We have a lot of German Shepherds. We don't have many Belgian Malinois.
Do we have any?
No, we actually just have a friend with one. And they spent $2,000 for great training, and they do an amazing job. Judd and Kara and their daughter trained their dog to be amazing. Yes, we do, because Doc Pete's is a Belgian Malinois. Doc Pete's dog.
Client.
No, but we know. Sorry, so we only know a couple Belgian Malinois. This is a compilation of the difference between a German Shepherd and a Belgian Malinois. So people keep asking, is there a difference between Belgian Malinois and a German Shepherd? A German Shepherd will assess the situation, decide whether intervention is necessary, and act accordingly. A Malinois has already launched himself into the situation, knocked over your drink, gone swimming in the flood, and somehow ended up under the bridge at midnight. German Shepherds think first. Malinois wake up every morning and choose chaos.
Pretty little Malinois, you've got that gator's jaw.
Do you want me to
Holy shit.
No. Echo, what are you doing? Echo, easy. Echo, 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 Echo,
Ready?
She's so loud. He's pulled his pants off. Bye-bye pants. No.
Speak. Speak.
How about I just knock you out?
That's quite. Speak.
Whoa. No. So, I built him his new cage. And I'm out. All right, so here's the thing, guys. You don't, I've never, what? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Watch that again.
They need a job.
That's
they
gotta
need
be
a job.
AI. No way. Okay, I am here to tell you that none of you, no one on planet Earth needs one of those dogs. Unless they are going to be a police dog with training and do all the things. Were we screen sharing there? I hope we were. I hope I didn't miss that. Okay, yeah, we did. All right. Yeah, so there you go. All right, are we doing our switch now?
Not quite yet. No, not quite yet.
Okay.
Let's see.
You're gonna retweet something.
This is kids. No, I don't believe any kids were harmed in this.
There you go. Good job. Oh, we spilled a little, but that's okay. Oh, don't look at it. Oh, did you panic?
So that was on mom for giving the kid an open cup like that. Oh, I can't stop it. I don't know how to drop it. Leah. Wow, that's impressive, but also looks very dangerous. Mom should be there. Somebody should be there.
Watch
okay,
it.
no. Oh, that was poor. I'm on. Oops, missed the chair.
It happens to me. It happens to all of us.
It's hard. Oh. Okay, mom and dad weren't there to help for that either. No, shouldn't have been given the cup like that. Oh, let me just pour it out. It's better to pour it out than break the cup. Oh, wow. Parkour.
1, 2, 3.
Oh!
Do you want some tortilla chips?
Leah, this is America's Funniest Home Videos. This is terrible. Oh, wow. Oh, Leah. Oh, that was not the kid's fault. Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh. Oh, Leah. Oh,
just into a lot of walls.
You gotta keep your eyes on the ball.
Watch this. Oh, wait. No.
Oh. Leah. Oh.
That one was the last one. Oh, that one hurt
that
my
looked
bum.
terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
And my head
Leah.
hit the wall.
Why are we watching this?
Oh.
That was
Okay.
awful.
Some of
Don't
them,
do those
some of them
again.
were a little painful, but some of them were hilarious.
That was
to
really
me.
bad. What is this?
Okay, so this is. Have you seen this?
Yes.
Do we play it?
Sure, why not? Is
So
there a
this
curse word in
dad,
there?
no, not with the dad. So he lies. He makes up all these things about himself to
On
see
purpose.
to see how his daughter is a fake interview. but
Right, yeah.
She thinks it's real.
Yeah.
So you wanted some background? Like I dress like this every day. I get up at 4 a.m. Every morning. I go for a run, and then I run for about 12 miles. And then I come back. I make sure the house is all clean and tidy. I do all the dishes. I wash.
That's not true. It's not true.
I make sure the dogs are bathed, and that way when my wife gets up, like everything is done. So I'm very diligent in that.
Bye.
No, Abby.
That's not true. You can't lie to
Abby,
the
they're
kid.
So you asked about my diet. I only eat vegetables. There's no pizza.
Come on, you make sense in milk.
You asked how I met my wife. I was a center fielder for the New York Yankees, and I was playing in one day.
I love that daughter. She's the greatest.
Honest.
Go
Dad,
get him,
you
little
are
girl.
lying. You are lying.
I love that. I've seen that a couple times.
You know, I do.
Speaking of lying.
Yeah, I'm going to skip this one. I don't
Okay.
want to do this one.
Are we ready to
can't
go to
do
the
Jeff
the
Bezos.
thing?
Hang on. Not
Okay.
quite
Okay.
yet.
We're keeping you guys on the edge of your seat.
I don't know why I opened that one up.
Should I read some comments? It's been a minute.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Okay. I love the donkey and the cow, says 8-Ball. Let's see. Wicked Sykes says, if I remember correctly, a lot of the Drainage Act is from the 1800s. They tried to sink the U.S. Liberty and blame Egypt for it, but they did not succeed, says 7 Ange. 8-Ball says, I love it. And Wicked Psych wants to know, didn't somebody destroy those Guidestones a while back, the Georgia Guidestones? You guys are having a conversation about the Georgia Guidestones.
What?
They are gone now.
Really?
Let's see. Gio says, happens almost every El Nino. Expect a very wet winter. Dale says, don't they call hurricanes typhoons out west in the Pacific? Nobody says typhoon anymore, Dale. When I was a kid, I thought that word was going to be used a lot more in my life when I was taught it. I have only heard that word a handful of times in 10 years of Resistance Chicks. I really thought when I was a kid that typhoon was going to be used a lot more. Didn't you? Maybe. When you were taught it?
Maybe.
Like, I thought there was going to be a lot more typhoons, but apparently no.
Yeah, a typhoon. Oh, that's tycoon. We don't use that one either. Tycoon. That's
Leah, what do you think a tycoon is? Let's just go, because it's not related to weather at all.
No, but that's a rich person.
Yeah, okay, good.
So I'm
you
just
scared me a
saying,
minute
I was
there.
like, typhoon.
It's like, why are we
tycoon.
going there?
Well,
You
when we
scared
played
me.
the game of life, you could be a tycoon.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
That was almost terrifying. I was almost had like a Leah moment and Michelle. Like,
No,
you're
I
about
just-
to say
they
something
sound they're homonyms.
really
They sound similar.
embarrassing.
Okay.
Let's see. Hang on. Leslie said, all this news makes me want to go home. I know, because it's really depressing.
Oh.
Caroline says, same thing when people get their license back for a plea bargain and go out and kill someone on the road. I think
Aren't our commercial breaks helpful though?
they are. No, you're doing a good job on your commercial breaks. Wicked Psych says, we got onto the Guidestones because of the New York City infrastructure drainage. Got you. And Kimberly says, typhoons and quicksand. Again, thought that quicksand was going to come a little bit more into, because I was afraid of quicksand when I was a kid, right?
Yes.
So you think you're going to encounter it more often than we
I have a lot
do.
more fear of quicksand than I.
I thought maybe
needed to.
beaches. Like, I would think you're going to a beach, there could be quicksand.
Quicksand was supposed to be in the woods wherever you hiked.
And ROUSs?
Like in the Princess Bride, yeah.
Yeah, rodents of unusual size.
You needed to always have a stick ready, a big long one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so another sad story. I'm sorry, but it does silver lining. I don't know. I'm trying to find the silver lining. It was pretty gray. ICE arrests 5 suspected child predators in an undercover operation. Okay.
That sounds good.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested 5 suspected child predators during an operation in Omaha, Nebraska between August 12th and the 14th. The undercover operation was carried out by ICE's Homeland Security investigators in Omaha, together with state and local partners. Among the 5 arrested and charged, 3 had prior convictions for sexual crimes against children and were also listed on sex offender registries. If convicted of the new charges, these 3 individuals could face enhanced penalties, likely adding 10 more years to any sentence. I hope why can't we just lock away any child predator away forever? Like, this does not make sense.
I am for full castration. You know what I'm saying? I forget, like, the locking them up is important.
Yeah.
But if you take away their most prized possession, gone.
Yeah. So this is what is bothering me.
Okay.
It should be good, but it's not. That there would be this many. More than 5,000 child predators and human traffickers have been arrested since Trump took office in January of 2025.
That also sounds good.
Yay, but that sounds scary. That
Okay.
there's 5,000.
Yes.
Because if you multiply that times 10 victims,
they're arrested.
or 100 victims.
Okay. But they've been arrested.
Yeah, but
We don't know
what
what's
about the
happened.
rest? So Trump has backed law enforcement agencies, empowered the FBI. That's good. In its recent statement, I said that one of the arrested individuals, Brian Daddy, 48, a U.S. citizen, has been listed in Nebraska's sex offender registry for a 2023 conviction for enticing a 9-year-old girl. The person was also arrested in January this year on new charges alleging of grooming and enticing a 13-year-old girl. So 2023, he's out on bail. This year, he's out on bail. And now he's arrested in another sting. Another individual, a 39-year-old Mexican and lawful permanent resident.
Stop it.
Is currently on the sex offender registry for a 2010 conviction and linked to assaulting a 15-year-old girl. Excusez-moi. Why is anybody given legal permanent residency as any foreigner with there should be no foreigners on the sex offender registry. Can we get an amen? Can we just have a consensus that you get deported, that you don't get to be a lawful citizen and be a sex offender?
You ain't got to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Come on.
A third individual, an American citizen, is also a sex offender registry for conviction related to assaulting a 13-year-old.
No.
They're all already on there.
Hang on high.
According to data from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, it received more than 113,500 reports of potential child sex trafficking last year, a 323% increase from 2024.
Wait. Stop. Here's my question on that.
That's what I'm wondering. 5,000 arrests and you have 13,500 reports. Do you have enough manpower? We got a problem.
Could you repeat that number one more time? Read it slowly.
113,000.
Thank you, because that's 100,000 more than what you just said.
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
13,500. 113,500.
Are they trying to tell us that the reports are getting to them better?
Yes.
Or have we had an increase?
No, I think
of
they're saying
300?
that under Trump, more people are more likely to report. However, that 5,000 number it's like a pinch of salt when you're looking. Thank you for correcting that. 113,000. Here's the thing. When we read numbers like 113,500, we think, oh, well, maybe we should drop the 500. Do you know how many 500 child abuse cases that is?
Just listen, okay? If you guys have not seen our documentary, Monsters of America. Yesterday is the time that you watched it, okay? Because here's the problem. This would not be happening if it were not for Alfred Kinsey and him going and revising and inventing the model penal code. He deliberately went and changed the laws in America. Do you know that pedophilia used to be a capital offense? That doesn't mean with a capital O. It means you die, friend. You come after little kids, you go into the long sleep, man. That does wonders for curbing this. So don't tell me that our government officials actually want to stop sex trafficking or child exploitation, because if they did, they would bring back capital offense.
So I guess June 10th, Trump signed the Secure America Act into law, which contained a provision to combat child exploitation. The provision provided the Department of Homeland Security with $108 million. This is not a lot of money. This is a drop in a bucket. So to hire 200 new child exploitation investigators and analysts, according to a June 9th statement from the office of Senator Josh Hawley, who introduced the provision. Now, before the legislation was in place, Homeland Security employed 7 full-time specialists to identify child exploitation victims. 7. That's 200 new law enforcement officers to find and rescue kids trafficked by predators, and a new initiative to coordinate local, state, and federal enforcement, Hawley said. Now, it says that the U.S. Marshals said on August 10th that 48 missing children from Massachusetts were rescued.
That's good.
It was tied to the World Cup. The agency said the rescued children were between 12 and 17. Several of them were found outside state borders after investigators tracked leads across the country in multiple states.
You know, I used to think that the parents that had their kids with a leash, I thought that was cruel and excessive. If I ever have kids, they will be chained to me.
In another major operation conducted in April, Operation Iron Pursuit, the FBI targeted alleged child exploitation predators across the U.S. The effort led to rescue more than 200 child victims.
Praise God.
and arrests of more than 350 individuals. An earlier effort, the 2-week Operation Relentless Justice, I like that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
In December of last year, resulted in 205 child victims being located and 293 alleged offenders being arrested. When we are talking about child trafficking like this is brutal child SA slavery in this country happening right now. It is fueled by the Kinsey Model Penal Code.
Mm-hmm.
It is fueled by pornography.
Yes.
It's fueled by taking God out of school. And everything we're trying to do to, here's the thing, it's not enough to arrest these guys. They're going to be back on the street. Okay.
Long sleep.
We do need a lot of long sleeps. We do. But we also need a lot of fear of God to be put in these
Amen.
people because
Come on.
they know that they'll be out the next day.
Amen.
All like 3 or 4 of those guys, they were just walking free. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I guess we just have to pray. God, you care about children.
Amen.
You care about victims of these violent, horrible assaults. I ask you, Father God, that you would raise up more. If the government, here's the guys, you have to understand something. The government is designed for one thing. It's to protect
the
yourself,
citizens. Amen.
protect the citizens.
Amen.
And so I pray for more law enforcement.
Come on.
200 is not enough.
Amen.
If there are 113,000, we need exponential amount of
It's a state of
police
national emergency.
and FBI to go and find and rescue these kids and lock up these guys. And we need to shut down the pornography industry.
Amen.
That is fueling this. Father God, I ask that you would rescue every child in America.
Come on.
That you would lock away forever every predator, and that you would cleanse the hearts and minds of men and women across this country in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Whew, that was a hard one. Crazy, crazy. Now, this is the last weird story before we go into Clancy. Okay. Do you guys remember Michael Cohen?
Yeah.
He was Trump's lawyer who turned on Trump's lawyer. This is why I can't stand Trump. He is so weird. He goes on Michael Cohen's podcast.
Are you serious?
And he's like, you know what? They made you do that. They made you come after me. Their conversation marked a surprising thaw years after their relationships collapsed amid public feuds and legal battles. Part of the interview with Cohen's show, When You Know, You Know,
Stop. Who's watching
aired
that?
last night. They weaponized you, Trump said. They weaponized a lot of people, Trump told Cohen. I respect the fact that you recanted everything you said, and that's a big thing for you that you did. You're going to go down as a man of courage. Great courage. Because you did something that a lot of people wouldn't have the guts to do. I guarantee your family greatly respects what you did. I'm going to tell you something. There's no way that he's recanting if Trump's not president right now.
Oh my gosh, Leah.
Okay. He knows what side his bread is buttered on. Do you know what I mean? Okay. This was Cohen's first public conversation with Trump in 8 years. Cohen shared a Substack article that served as a reconciliation of the public feud the two had, which included Cohen's testifying against Trump in his New York City criminal trial in 2024. Cohen served as one of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office star witnesses, alleging the president was involved in a plan to pay off Stormy Daniels. 8 years of silence, hundreds of thousands of headlines, 15 years of history fractured in an instant, and somehow, against almost every expectation, here we are, Cohen wrote. Ever since he announced that Trump would appear on his show, Cohen stated that the inbox became a digital battlefield. It has been flooded with hatred, anger, disbelief, and some of the most spectacularly vicious things imaginable. In 2028, Cohen was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to campaign finance violations, tax evasion, bank fraud, and lying to Congress. He completed his sentence and supervision requirements in November 2021. Speaking to Politico on August 19th, Cohen answered a question about whether he would seek a presidential pardon. We'll see, whatever. So Trump, who was convicted in a jury trial on 34 counts of falsifying business records, denied the charges. The judge who oversaw the case, Juan Merchan, sentenced Trump to an unconditional discharge in January 2025, about 2 months after Trump won a re-election. In his first term, Trump often criticized Cohen in response to claims his former lawyer made about him, writing on Twitter, if anyone is looking for a good lawyer, I would strongly suggest you don't retain the services of Michael Cohen. During the interview with Cohen, Trump also talked about the economy, Venezuela, and the Iran conflict. I
want to throw in my thoughts on this. Are you ready?
I don't.
So, because we've been doing Resistance Chicks for 10 years.
I don't want to hear it. Don't say that.
Leah, we have covered every square inch of this from start to middle to finish. Here's the problem. Michael Cohen is corrupt to the core. However, coming from, at the time, unapologetically, unashamedly, radical acceptancely, we were giant Trump supporters. So we kind of, in some ways, went along with the throwing under the bus of Michael Cohen. But I'm here to tell you, yes, he's corrupt, but Trump threw him under the bus. So why is this happening right now, Leah? This is happening right now because Trump knows that he threw Michael Cohen under the bus and that Michael Cohen went to jail for 3 years for something that probably should have landed on Trump's shoulders, but didn't. So Trump's going back to try to help revive his friend, right? Essentially, I'm going to come back and make up for it, you know? So it's almost like it begs the question, did Trump tell him at the time, you take this from me, I'll make up for it later? You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
That I think that Trump is ready to just let everybody burn around him and that he doesn't come to people's aid.
So but what I'm saying is why this now?
Because Trump is on top and Cohen is ready. So Trump wasn't mad at Cohen during the Cohen trial.
No. But he threw Cohen under the bus.
No, Cohen threw Trump under the bus.
I think it went both ways. That's my humble opinion.
Okay, so there was a payment. And we argued there was a $130,000 payment to this porn star,
Stormy Daniels.
And I was naive. Okay. Because somehow in the midst of this Trump's awesome gala, no one really stopped to ask, did Trump sleep with and pick out Stormy Daniels as a porn star to have sex with her while he is married to Melania Trump, while she had just had, or was pregnant with, or just had
Barron.
The truth is he did.
I know.
And the truth is that he instructed Cohen to use campaign finances.
That's what I'm saying.
To pay this porn star. So
Right.
yes, a $130,000 payment was made to Stormy Daniels in October of 2016 to keep her silent about a 2006 encounter with Trump. Michael Cohen, Trump's then personal attorney and fixer, arranged and paid it himself from his own money. He wired it through a shell company then that he created for the purpose, drawing the money from a home equity line of credit for Trump. Trump is a billionaire. He literally had to borrow money on his own home to pay this for Trump.
Yeah.
The payment was made about 2 weeks before the 2016 presidential election. In 2017, after Trump became president, the Trump Organization reimbursed Cohen $420,000 in total. This covered the $130,000 payment, and then they used it from campaign donations. Okay, so you paid a porn star if you gave to Trump. Trump initially publicly denied knowing about the payment. Later in 2018,
That's what I'm
and his then attorney
saying.
Rudy Giuliani acknowledged that Trump had reimbursed Cohen for it. But here's the thing. He initially denied it.
That's what
And so you and I and the rest of us were like, Trump didn't do anything with Stormy Daniels. He wouldn't lie to us. He would not. Not only did he lie, he got his lawyer to get a home equity line of credit out. Like, I'm going to US Bank. I need 130 grand.
Stop it.
Because I'm going to put in a really nice bathroom.
No.
No, I'm just covering for the now president of the United States for having sex with a porn star. Okay.
geez.
So,
And we all put,
and then Cohen went to jail for Trump.
that's what I just
And then Cohen testified against Trump. And then now Trump is on Cohen's podcast. Like,
everything's fine.
but
We're
here
hunky-dory.
is how this is going. Trump didn't say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I asked you to do something that was highly unethical and illegal that put you in jail.
So weird. So my question is why now? What's going on? I don't know. That seems, we can delve into it if this continues to move forward, but I just think it's all gross.
It is
And
gross.
here's the deal, guys. Please take this with a grain of salt. And I think that at this point, everybody understands where Lee and I stand on Trump. I don't know if he's had an invasion of the body snatchers or if we missed it 1000%.
Okay.
Was there a little bit there that was a little bit truthful?
If we go back to 2016 and he's lying to us.
I know.
And all we hear is the Access Hollywood tape, grab him by the blank, and we still have to whatever. We have to explain that, right? And then he is telling us he did not do these things.
Yeah.
He's lying. Okay. And we are defending him. It's been from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one more story than Clancy. This one is kind of sad, and I want to pray for these pro-lifers. Good on them. But in Idaho, you'd think Idaho is pretty red, kind of conservative. Coffee shop owner turned away a pro-life meeting because people didn't like that the pro-lifers were meeting at this coffee shop, and he calls them the KKK.
I said everybody is welcome, but I said I don't want this group meeting here. It's like if the KKK asked to meet here, I would say no.
So you think
If a
pro-lifers are like the KKK? Is that what you're saying?
In my world, it's the same. It's the same sort of concept.
That is so beyond
Yeah.
far. Pro-lifers, those who advocate for the dignity of every human life, even children in the womb.
I've
You
made
say we're
I've
like
made
the
my
KKK.
point clear. I asked you guys not to meet here. I said it.
Oh my.
So when Jim Sheehan learned they were just meeting to have coffee, to talk pro-life, Hawkins told Fox News that a group of 15 people had gathered at the cafe to discuss a prospective ballot measure that would legalize abortion up to 24 weeks in Idaho, where most abortions are currently illegal. Her 16-year-old son, Bear, a fellow with Students for Life, organized the gathering to recruit local volunteers. They also plan to discuss ways to support moms and families in need in their rural neighborhood. According to Hawkins, group members ordered food and drinks before sitting down, at which point Sheehan approached them and said that they were not welcome to host their meeting there.
Sorry.
Video footage shows Sheehan telling the group to meet at the public library.
Wow.
Instead, this is my place of business. I did a lot of work to get people on the ballot so women would have the right to choose in the state of Idaho, and this is something I do not support, nor does my wife. It's our business, so we have that choice. When Hawkins asked if he was kicking them out, Sheehan replied, "Did I make it very clear that I did not want you here?" So Sheehan disputed claims that he kicked out the group. And the
It's on
video was
video,
misleading. He said he had politely asked the group on Facebook the day prior not to use his business for their meeting. Sunday, she announced on a local community page they were holding this meeting at our business, naming it. I responded to the post politely asking them not to use our business. They showed up anyways. Hawkins told Fox News they had not seen the social media reply from Sheehan before holding the meeting. In an interview with the Cowboy State Daily on Wednesday, Sheehan acknowledged the KKK comparison was a mistake, stating he didn't think through that analogy. Sheehan said he and his wife have received nonstop death threats. I'm sure pro-lifers
I don't think so.
He defended his right to host groups at his choice. So this is very interesting because is it bake the cake? Now, I actually think that you can refuse service to people, but I also think that you should be publicly shamed.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so this case, this Lindsay Clancy case.
Here we go. This mom of 3.
A mom of 3 killed, admittedly, 3 little children. It is one of the saddest cases that you'll hear because, in my humble opinion, it was avoidable. This woman, Lindsay Clancy, was a nurse in the maternity ward.
Oh, I didn't hear
She
that
was
part.
pretty young.
Yeah.
She loved being a mom. Her mom and her mother-in-law both testified that she was a good mom. That something happened and switched shortly after she gave birth to her 3rd child.
Yeah.
And she started to be afraid of going back to work.
Oh,
She was saying that the baby wasn't going to do well, wasn't thriving like on the bottle or whatever. And she started to have like panic attacks and anxiety.
Yeah, that's very
about
natural.
going back to work.
Oh my gosh.
So then she sought help. They gave her medication.
No.
So the medication started to make her
Crazy.
crazy. She started to not be able to sleep in a very, have you ever had restless leg syndrome?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a certain kind of insomnia that's not exhaustion, to where you literally can't sleep at all, even when you're super tired.
It'll make you crazy.
And this is the complete rest of my show. So hold on to this is probably an hour long that we're going to do into this. So I've got a lot of clips.
Have permission to go to bed and watch the rest tomorrow. Or to skip it. But I think most of you are here.
There is an all-out war happening on social media where I am not siding with the liberal pink hats. There are a lot of women on social media who, after hearing Lindsay's cries for help and she wasn't getting help, and the fact that she literally told her mom and her husband that something was going wrong with her and that she had thought about harming her children. They did not get her into the right help. They did not get her into a good place. There's a TikToker who actually has been doing TikToks about the facility that she went to for 5 days, saying how bad it was because she was there a year ago. In the middle of the trial, the defense attorney tried to get the TikToker to testify. The judge wouldn't allow it because she was there a year ago, but not when Clancy, a year before Clancy was there. But it would seem that the place that they sent her, or she tried to go, was incompetent. She had several different therapists that she tried to talk to. Two are being sued for incompetence. I think one therapist is being sued, and then the facility she went to is being sued. The one therapist that she talked to, psychiatrist, had only had her own practice for a month.
What?
1 month. And had never treated somebody with postpartum psychosis.
Oh, dear God.
So I've got a really good in-depth video on the difference between postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis. And then what's very interesting, as a side note, is that Hayden Panettiere, a well-known actress, recently died. In 2016, she came out in the public for talking about how she had postpartum depression and how she was ostracized. She had a deal with Neutrogena and they dropped her because she came out and said that. And she had been put on some how do you say the rest of it? Adozines.
Benzoids. Just call
I
them
feel like it's not professional to call
benzos.
them benzos, but
It's whatever the name is.
these are psychiatric drugs, right? And they're supposed to help you with anxiety and depression, but these are black label drugs that can cause suicide and thoughts. She was on a mixture of 13 different drugs.
This is unreal.
She also had called the suicide hotline 2 times. And obviously we need an overhaul in the suicide hotline because she didn't have an actual plan on how she was going to try to take herself out. I'm trying to be careful for you.
Sorry.
You don't need to fill. I know what the words are. I didn't want to try to say that.
Okay.
You don't need to fill in the blank on that one.
Okay.
Because she didn't have an actual written down plan.
Mhm.
They wouldn't help her. They were just like, goodbye. Goodbye. The whole system failed her. What's very interesting is they have an entire unit in the UK for mothers
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
who are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Even mothers who are struggling with the desire to harm their children.
Wow.
They actually have places where mom and baby can go together.
That's amazing.
To work it out.
Wow.
We don't have any of these. We don't have postpartum psychiatrists. When women's hormones are thrown off,
Mm-hmm.
some can experience, it's not incredibly common, but some can experience psychosis because of how their hormones are. And then when you add a bunch of medicine in, it just really throws things off. I'm going to start here with this Candace Owens clip. But I'm going to tell you something. The conservative world is split right down the middle. And I'm actually saying that most of the conservative worlds, maybe the MAGA people, they are watching this trial, not knowing anything about healing for the fractured soul, or really anything about medication, or really anything about postpartum. And they're taking this Matt Walsh stance of, if you murdered your children, it's your fault, death penalty, end of story, no nuance, nothing. But I actually appreciate Candace Owens' take on this. And then we're going to get to the nitty gritty, and you guys can come up with your own decision at your own, how you feel about it when we're over here.
My thoughts clear on this. The moment that she was arrested, the moment that it made the news, Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. There are a fleet of doctors who should be imprisoned for what they put her on. I regularly speak out against Big Pharma. They get away with murder all the time. And in this case, they are getting away with the murder of really her 3 children, but also completely destroyed her life. Lindsay Clancy, in my opinion, is not guilty. She was put into an intentional psychosis when she probably just needed to give her kids away for a weekend to get better, but they constantly give you these drugs that do not make things better. And the cocktail of 10 pharmaceuticals that she was on is absolute madness. Absolute madness. I made my thoughts.
So what conservatives and a lot of Christians are even saying are saying things like, in the cases of Lindsay Clancy and this other guy, bring to mind a column I wrote in 2018, we must stop confusing evil with illness. As our culture grows more and more secularized, it has become a very common practice to describe those who commit widespread acts of violence, especially if such violence involves the death of multiple human beings, as crazy. Some of this is tongue-in-cheek, but much of it is sincere. I believe this is a direct result of the psychiatric community attempting to redefine what is moral. For decades, we have witnessed the psychiatric community take acts that were long considered evil, or at least immoral and illegal, and deem them a psychological disorder that needs to be cured. It's just good business. I believe that in many, many, many cases, especially like with the abuse of children, where a lot of these guys are abusing children, they're going back on the streets, different things like that. In the cases maybe with school shooters, I don't believe that these are momentary acts of insanity. I believe that they are just insane. Okay. So when you're looking at a pattern of a child who has detachment syndrome, and they don't care about people, and they're violent, and they're always violent, right? And then they can make an act of violence that is evil.
So can I
Can I finish?
Yeah,
my
I'm sorry.
sentence?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Lindsay Clancy was raised in a good home.
Yeah.
She loved her children. Her mom, her mother-in-law, everyone around her said she was normal, that she loved her children. This was not an act of evil. This was, so what they're saying is that it was a premeditated thing, and she's just an evil, evil, evil woman. And a lot of that has to do with the left and a lot of liberal women who are
evil.
And
they want to kill their children.
Yes. And so you're seeing a lot of evil women. And I want to start over here because this is where this is where the right is upset. Pink-clad feminist mob rallies in support of confessed child murderer. That is a lot in a headline, okay? A mob of liberal women decked out in pink is taking to the streets in front of Plymouth Superior Courthouse in Plymouth, Massachusetts.
This is happening
for
in Plymouth?
a rally, yes, in support of Lindsay Clancy during her ongoing murder trial.
This is literally happening in Plymouth right now.
Yeah. The group, which is often accused of being terminally online, has been invading social media discussions for weeks to inject arguments in defense of Clancy, who confessed to murder of her 3 helpless children. Now these women, this is biased against Clancy, but we're going to give you guys both sides. Now, these women and a few of their husbands are going offline and showing up en masse to explain why Lindsay Clancy should go free. Hundreds of Lindsay Clancy supporters wearing pink and the words "Believe She Needed Help" and "Peace for Lindsay" gathered Thursday outside the courthouse. Several of the women said Clancy's story resonated with them and that they wanted to raise awareness of how the mental health system treats women. Clancy's lawyer does not dispute that she killed the children, but says she should not be held criminally responsible because she was mentally ill and suffering postpartum psychosis. So I want to show you guys some of the women that I believe. Some of them are probably a danger to their children. Some of them might be evil. I don't know.
women in one place at one time.
Okay.
The fact that this is even being turned into a political thing.
Yes, the political. Yeah, this.
And now you're biased. The thing and this is the beauty of resistance chicks, because we don't lean we don't lean right, we don't lean left, but we lean on the word of God and we filter our worldview through this. As soon as it becomes a political issue, and if you have your feet staunchly stuck in whatever side you're on, then you're gonna just side. You don't think for yourself. You are just a robot.
So this is this message here. This article is just what's wrong with conservative world. The message among feminists is clear. Women are perpetual victims. Therefore, they cannot be convicted as predators. In the liberal mythos, women are pure and devoid of masculine evil, and thus, when they commit atrocities, it is only because the system forced them to do so, or because the system broke them and drove them insane.
Which, for me, for our show, we're not saying that.
No.
And you're like putting words in people's mouths. Now, the left actually does kind of think that, right?
Yes.
These leftist women, pink-haired people,
Yes.
they do think that.
But here's the thing. I will tell you, guess what they think? They think Michelle and I are evil.
Exactly.
So they don't think that all women are pure. So let's get off that soapbox.
Yeah, those pink women wouldn't let Leah and I there, even if we agreed with some of this issue.
In other words, there can be no structure for justice for female criminals because in the minds of feminists, there are no female criminals. That's not true.
That's
because
not
it was
true.
a feminist female who ran YouTube, who kicked us off of YouTube. Okay? The postpartum argument is held up as if it is proof of innocence, but in reality, it suggests that the person is even more dangerous than a typical criminal. This is what this article says. If an otherwise unassuming woman has the ability to appear absolutely normal and insinuate herself into the lives of others only to become bloodthirsty murderer of her children at the flip of the switch, then she can never be trusted to enter back into society ever again. She can never be trusted to have children go near her again. The punishment should be more severe, not less. This is why America used to have a large network of mental hospitals to keep people like this locked away for good. Instead, liberal ideology has created an environment in which criminals with the right identity are treated with more empathy than victims. This is where the right is at right now, and I'm so upset. If this continues for much longer, it will mean the downfall of Western civilization. The Lindsay Clancy trial has also become another focal point for what many now call a plague on the internet, amateur detective wine moms. Conspiracy theorists on social media, spread by these same women, assert that Lindsay Clancy is actually a patsy and that her husband is a killer. Her husband actually has something weird going on in this story too, okay? Even though numerous pieces of evidence, including surveillance footage and cell phone tracking, shows Clancy's husband at a local CVS pharmacy at the time of murder, these women have read hundreds of true crime novels and think they are better investigators than the authorities involved. Some commentators note that a similar mob of female detectives have been spreading endless conspiracy theories about Tyler Robinson and the murder of Charlie Kirk, even though it's on record that Robinson confessed to his family. Do you see how this article is being framed? I find it very interesting that Zero Hedge has taken the Tyler Robinson is the murderer and this woman is incredibly evil. I am kind of shocked because there is evil when you look on the side of evil, and there are very evil women who do very evil things. Ghislaine Maxwell is incredibly evil.
Margaret Sanger.
Hillary Clinton is incredibly evil. We could make a long list. Do you want to make a long list? However, there is nuance to this story. There is nuance to this story.
Well, I just want to, for anybody that's tuning in, allow me to just give one very brief story. You guys know that we advertised for my Healing for the Soul essential oil blend. In 2018, we had an unfortunate series of very high stress events that happened. And I was on overload. And I went through something that I can't really describe and was really scary. And I can't, like, what we found out later was that my endocrine system, probably what happened to Lindsay Clancy here, stopped working. It just shut down. Your endocrine system it's your hormones, and it controls everything. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. I had zero motivation. And I came to Leah and I said, Leah, there's something wrong with me. I don't feel like myself. There's something wrong with me. Leah took me seriously And Leah, because she's not a pharmaceutical company, because she is my sister, because she knows the real me, and because she's like a dog with a bone, did the research. And she came to me and she said, Michelle, I think that your endocrine system is broken. And I said, what is your endocrine system? I didn't know what it was back then, right? And so what we did was a series of things to bring my endocrine system back online and to lower the stress in my life.
And you know where a lot of it was from? You don't do well. We have a pet sitting business with getting up in the morning. When you
define that
with getting up early in the morning to our
super
pet sitting
extra
business
early
is weird.
Right.
Okay, so the way we do our pet sitting business is
that's really not an important part of the story.
It
Just tell
is.
them
It
on
is.
the
It's-
days.
no, you don't understand. Let me finish my sentence before you
I'm
stop.
saying
Stop.
you don't have to give them the description. You
It
can just
is.
say on the days that I have to get up super
No,
early.
no, let me explain this.
Okay.
So the way we do our pet care, because it directly ties into Lindsay's story.
Okay.
The days we do a lot of our pet care business, sometimes I'm out there, I have to get up at I'm a person who needs about 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Okay. As I get older, I need a little less, but not consistently.
I need less as I get older too.
But consistently, if I don't get 8 hours of sleep a night, I have to make up for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Same with Michelle. Well, when you're pet sitting for animals, sometimes the family will be gone for 2 weeks. So the way that we do our schedule is we let animals out, we go to their house and we go 3 times a day. But the last let out might not be until 11 o'clock at night.
You don't get home till midnight. Then you got to eat.
So then you got to eat. Then it's like sometimes you're not in bed until 1 or 2 in the morning. That sounds crazy, but that's the way, if you're a pet sitter, that's the way you have to work it. And especially back then when we were doing a lot of pet sitting.
We'd have somewhat of like 15 to 18 visits a day.
So sometimes I'm gone all the day and I'm okay with that. Like I'm physically okay. So I get up in the morning and we would kind of argue over who's doing the morning visits. And what we found is that, and some of you back in the day, if you ever called or text between 10 and 12, I really just wanted to harm someone because we do what's called second sleep. And so because we'd
get like a 5-hour block of sleep at night,
5 or
right?
6,
You get like 5 hours, you're up early in the morning, you're out. And if you don't get what we call the second sleep, which is at that time we weren't getting, plus because of our dog, we were up multiple times. Our dogs were incontinent and passing away, and then the stress of whether we put them down, and there were so many things.
So you were not getting not only were you not getting a full night's sleep, but you don't necessarily do well with this.
5-6
and a lot of
hours.
people don't do well with what I call second sleep.
Yeah.
It's not good. Like you need that solid stretch. Some can do good. There are lots of professions. Maybe some of you are in those professions where
thankfully for anybody that's wondering, we don't live that way anymore.
We don't have as
to,
much.
We don't have to do that. We keep dogs at our house. So but this goes back to 2018 when we were living a schedule where it's like, I was consistently getting like 5-6 hours of sleep a night and trying to struggle to get a nap in the day. And it was just, and then the high stress of our dog. And then there was an abusive person in our life. And it was just so much going on.
But for Michelle, the number one thing she needed, the one thing, was not to have to get up in the morning to be able to get up in the morning on her own.
Yeah.
To be able to say, I have slept, I am ready to get up.
Yeah.
That's all. Honestly, you did a lot of stuff, but just that.
Yeah.
It was just sleep. Do you understand that there are some people where a lack of sleep causes a certain level of psychosis and what is happening in postpartum situations?
Yeah.
In depression and in psychosis this was happened to you a lot.
Yeah.
You couldn't fall back asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
So you never actually got a second sleep. You'd lay there.
Yeah.
But you weren't functioning,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So moms who maybe they can lay down because their child is asleep, they can't fall asleep.
I know.
So if you compound that day after day after day after day,
especially when you're laying there and you're thinking, I only have an hour, I have to go to sleep.
Right.
That's the worst because you're never going to fall asleep.
So I told Michelle, and honestly, I have to be careful because for Michelle, and you do have to be careful. You have to understand your own limitations.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do good. So on the shows that we're doing on the weekends that we're doing, if I can do 2 days of 5 hours of sleep. If I do longer than that, I might get crazy.
I have found that you get a little bit testy if we do a Sunday show. Because you're not getting a full, if you're getting a full.
Okay. So we need to get back to Lindsay Clancy.
Yes. All right.
So the point that we're made, the point of me bringing all that up,
Yes.
which Leah went way too much time on that and not enough time on what I was going to get to, and that's okay. My point is, I went through, because of stress, lack of sleep, stress, hormones, crazy, and I went to Leah and I said, I am not myself. I am not okay.
That is exactly what this trial is about.
That's what I wanted to get to. That was what I really wanted to emphasize.
I'm not myself. Here's the thing. When a woman comes and says,
I'm not okay, I'm not myself.
I'm not okay, I'm not myself, full stop. You've got to do whatever you can do, okay?
So we did a complete transition in our lifestyle. I stopped doing almost all
pet visits, period.
Pet visits. And it allowed us to keep more dogs at our house. I was able to like build a ton of stuff, right? I started doing way more on the homestead.
Yeah.
Right. And I focused more on resistance chick. So our house was immaculately spotless all the time. Right. And now our life's kind of totally different. But my point is, we took extreme, drastic steps. Leah literally said,
I just remember saying no more pet visits for you. Stop.
I remember you saying that too. Yeah.
You can't do this.
Yeah.
Okay. So here is, I'm going to play these 2 updates and we're going to get into some of the nitty gritty of this trial. Recapping is day 16.
I'm trying to find your shorts. It up. That's 17.
16 is next to it.
Right here.
Lindsay Clancy loves and misses her children, thinks about them every moment of every day. This is a recap of day 16 of testimony in Lindsay Clancy's triple murder trial. We do want to warn people, some of these details can be disturbing. Court actually came to an abrupt end. The jury sent home early, the judge announcing some unforeseen circumstances. But outside the courtroom, defense attorney Kevin Reddington said there's no real problem. Before jurors went home, they again heard testimony from Dr. Paul Zeisel, someone who has met with Lindsay Clancy dozens of times since the night she strangled her 3 kids and then attempted to take her own life. Zeisel again went into detail about handing his phone over to Lindsay Clancy while visiting her in her hospital bed in late January, and her making a phone call for the first time to her then husband Patrick Clancy, and going into detail about what she told him, including that she heard a man's voice order her to kill her children and then herself. And Zeisel says he has continued to meet with Clancy since that date. He also gave a look into her current mental state. He says she has bad days and worse days. There are concerns about suicidal ideations, and she has constant one-on-one supervision to ensure she doesn't take her own life while she's at Tewksbury State Hospital. Probably the most striking thing Dr. Zeisel said during testimony.
She did have indeed a mental disease or a defect.
A bipolar disorder and postpartum psychosis, and she was unable to conform her behaviors to the rule of law, and she had no appreciation for the wrongfulness of her act. It highlights the exact thing her defense team has been trying to argue in front of this jury, that she was suffering from postpartum psychosis at the time of these killings, and therefore legal analysts say if the juries find that same conclusion, they would have to find her not guilty. There was some intense cross-examination, prosecutors even calling bias into question over Dr. Zeisel's now close relationship with Lindsay Clancy and longtime working relationship with defense attorney Kevin Reddington.
So this is her.
All right, so
we're not doing that one. Sorry. This is the psychologist she's working with now and what he has to say about the confession.
Time was one where I asked if she knew where she was, so I did what's called a mental status exam, a brief mental status exam. It's orientation to time, place, location. She didn't know where she was, wasn't quite sure what time it was. She knew who she was. And she told me that she remembers what happened, but it was very fuzzy and foggy. At the time, she had been on medication for the significant pain post-surgery while in that hospital room.
And during the course of that interview with her, did she express any concern to you about her husband, Patrick?
Yes, she did.
Tell the jurors what she indicated to you.
She said, since 11 days prior to my meeting with her, which would have been January 24th, 2023, she had no contact with Patrick. She wanted to know how he was doing. She wanted to know if she could call him and find out where things are with her and with him and how he was faring, and to just speak with him.
She expressed concern about her family.
Yes, she did.
Did she express concern about what had happened?
Yes.
Did she ask you, or did you offer to her the ability to speak to her husband, Patrick?
She asked me if she could use my cell phone to call her husband.
Did she do that?
Yes, she did.
Did you hear the conversation?
Yes, I told her we'd call. It would have to be on speakerphone.
And tell us about that conversation.
So that first phone call, I believe on the 24th, he did not pick up. She left a message. I did not leave a message. We then called back 2 days later on the 6th.
And after the 2 days had transpired and the call was made on the 6th, did she have a chance to talk to Patrick?
Yes.
Were you there?
Yes.
Was she still chained to the bed?
Yes.
Were the cops still outside the room?
Yes, not in blues. They were in civilian clothing, jeans, flannel shirts.
And tell us what she said to Patrick in your presence on speakerphone at that point.
She had told Patrick that she loved him very much. She was unable to express a lot of emotion, but she expressed love for him. And she had said that she heard a male voice ordering her, telling her that she didn't have any choice, but she had to kill her children and then kill herself.
Now, Doctor, have in mind your background, your career, Did you tell Lindsay Clancy to lie or make that up and pretend that she was hearing voices?
No.
Did you have any conversation or any suggestions to her at all that she should say she heard voices or anything like that?
Absolutely not.
Why did you let her call her husband on your cell phone?
I let her call her husband out of human compassion.
So her husband
The conversation
has this happened in 2020, December of 2023. He started dating within like months and married really quickly after this. Very strange in my opinion. I want to play for you. Let's see. Let's do Lindsay's mother-in-law, former mother-in-law.
So this is
Right.
Patrick's mom.
Did you attend any of those meetings with her therapists or doctors?
No.
So you don't know what she told the providers, right?
I don't know.
And you don't know what kind of help she asked for other than medication, do you?
No.
And do you know whether there was any other options offered to her other than McLean, like a partial hospitalization program or intensive outpatient? Were you aware of those options?
Yeah.
And do you know if she went?
She went to Women and Infants.
So that's the one day where Pat dropped her off and went skiing and then came back, right?
I believe so.
She asked you about options that were available to Lindsay, correct?
Yes.
And you mentioned one of them was that she could go to the Women and Infants program in Rhode Island that specializes in perinatal and postpartum, right?
Yes.
You know that she went there, right?
Correct.
You know she was turned away because she was over-medicated, right?
Yes.
You also know that they gave her numbers to call suicide hotlines, right?
Yes.
She called twice, not once, but twice, and again was turned away.
So she was told to go to this Women and Infants hospital, but they said that she was on too many medications. Then they turned her away and said, here's the suicide prevention hotline. She called it twice. They turned her away twice. This is a woman that didn't premeditated randomly kill her children. That's what I would like to really point out here. This was
Here's the thing, Leanna, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm making a judgment call about her guilt
Hi, guys.
or her
Brianna
innocence.
Whitney.
That's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do is showcase that in a series of not just unfortunate events, but I would say criminal negligence in the medical system.
Is there such a thing
Let
as
this woman down
pleading
at every
See, here's
turn.
the thing. Is there such a thing as pleading insanity? You actually don't really get back out after that. Like, she did kill these kids, but
right.
Was she insane at the time? And that's what this trial is
I'll
about.
tell you this. Regardless of her guilt and punishment, there are so many people that should be held responsible for this as well.
Yeah.
Here
We just released our big Lindsay Clancy episode on YouTube. We talk about everything that's going on in the trial, but I thought I'd come on here and talk about 5 of some of the most memorable moments or unique moments that have happened in the courtroom during this trial. Let's start with number 1. This just happened this week. When Patrick Clancy's mom, Sue, was on the stand, she was answering a lot of questions. Namely, she was talking about how much Lindsay loved her kids. But then seemingly, almost out of nowhere, the prosecutor asked her if she was of Catholic faith. She said yes. And that's when the prosecutor said, "So you're aware then that murder is a mortal sin?" You could hear this kind of audible in the courtroom when that happened. The judge very quickly shut that down. He said that the jurors cannot consider that when they're rendering a verdict, but it was a pretty shocking moment in the courtroom. Number 2 is this work email that Patrick Clancy reportedly sent at 5:24 p.m. on the day of the murders. Now, Kevin Reddington, the defense attorney, basically asked Patrick, "Did you send it from your Surface Pro," which was his home laptop? And Patrick said, "I can't remember, I don't know." Which then made people think, was he really home at the time of the killings, or was he actually out and heading to CVS like he said he was? Ultimately, Patrick said he could have sent that from his phone in the car. So that has caused a lot of commotion online. Number 3, this TikToker dilemma. So this woman, Emily Thorndike, had been posting on TikTok about the conditions at McLean Hospital. That is the psychiatric facility that Lindsay stayed at in January, a few weeks before the kids were killed. And this TikToker was describing the conditions there because she used to be a social worker there 1 year before Lindsay was committed. Well, Kevin Reddington and his defense team actually caught wind of these videos going out and then subpoenaed her to possibly testify in court. Ultimately, the judge decided that she was credible, but she is not going to testify in front of a jury because she was not at McLean at the time that Lindsay was. Number 4, and this was super hard to watch, but Lindsay Clancy was pretty inconsolable during the autopsy pictures being shown of her children and also the description of their autopsies. It was so immense in the courtroom that they actually had to stop and pause a few times because her tears and her emotions and her wails were affecting the testimony. And number 5, we heard a lot from the medical doctors that saw Lindsay Clancy over those several months. But probably one of the most shocking things to come out of that was the fact that all of them weren't communicating with each other. Some of them had no access to the records of some of the facilities she was going to some of the providers, to some of the medications. And then you actually had one who testified they thought she saw Dr. Tufts, the first psychiatrist, one time. She'd actually seen her 14 times. And that became a huge issue among the kind of care and treatment that she was receiving during this time when she was.
Which was really sad. And we'll get to Dr. Tufts, who is the one who had just been in practice for a month. And so this is the TikToker who was talking about the hospital.
I'm a Massachusetts social worker, and I also worked on the exact inpatient unit.
Hang on, do I need to refresh? It's kind of frozen.
Of course it's going to freeze.
It's like the whole Windows is frozen. Give it a second to catch up.
I'm a Massachusetts social worker, and I also worked on the exact inpatient unit at McLean for nearly 8 years that Lindsay Clancy was a patient at. Very important, I was not there when she was there, but I literally worked there for 8 years. We need to correct the misinformation that this prosecutor is saying about McLean and what the stay there is like. So I'm going to break down everything for you and tell you the truth. Let's preface this with identifying what the prosecutor's approach is with the McLean stay in particular. The prosecution is trying to say that if Lindsay really wanted to get better, why didn't she engage in treatment more? And then the prosecutor specifically talks about McLean, what's offered there, and identifies things that Lindsay did not participate in. And we need to correct that. Let me tell you how it actually works. So the first thing the prosecution brings up with Patrick Clancy is that he has stated that he felt like she didn't really get any treatment while she was at McLean. And one of the things that he was under the impression of was that she didn't really see a doctor while she was there. Now, the prosecutor then says to him, well, are you aware she actually saw a doctor each day and she saw a resident? Are you aware of that? And he says, no, I wasn't under that impression. Let me tell you exactly why that is. In general, there are around 23 patients on the unit at a time. And because of that, there are usually around 4 to 5 physicians in charge, we call them, 4 to 5 psychiatrists who split up the patients so that there's not just one doctor seeing 23 patients. Each doctor has usually around 5 to 6. They vary a little bit. but they are limited, and that 23 patient population is divided up and it's split amongst doctors. When a patient is admitted to the unit, they are specifically assigned two clinicians. One is a psychiatrist and the second is the social worker. You are literally told as a patient, this is your treatment team. This is your doctor. This is your social worker. With that being said, legally, every patient needs to be seen at least once a day by a doctor. So on the weekends and on the holidays, when the physicians in charge, the regular physicians who are working there, are off because they work weekday hours, on the weekends and on holidays, the patients still need to be seen by a doctor. How that works is that there is one doctor who comes on the weekend and holidays, and he or she sees every single patient on the unit, okay? And if you think about it, there's a reason that the doctors who are there during the week are only assigned 4 to 5 patients, because you cannot spend a long amount of time as a doctor with 23 different patients. So the job of the weekend doctor, as we call them, the holiday doctor, is literally to just go quickly check in with every patient. It is not a lengthy meeting by any means. So this idea of the prosecution saying, well, she actually did see a doctor, so that was kind of a lie. She saw a doctor. She didn't see her doctor. Now, I'm a Massachusetts social.
That's part one. I don't know if we can scroll down. I don't know if there's scroll part two. Part two is playing on mine. So go to my history. Right there. That's part two.
Okay.
I'm a Massachusetts social worker, and I also worked on the exact inpatient unit at McLean.
So that's
refresh the page. Yeah.
I don't know. That's the same one.
I'm playing part two. It says part two.
Okay, well, let me make this big and I'll find it real quick. But this is
so what the little caption saying was, when she was there on a weekend. So she didn't actually see a doctor because that doesn't count. And while she was there, she only saw her doctor one time.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't receive actual treatment while she was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to the next part. The prosecutor also says to Patrick Clancy, well, are you aware that there is actually one-on-one therapy offered on the unit every day? This is what really pissed me off. There is absolutely no one-on-one therapy offered on that unit. What this prosecutor is referring to is what we literally call check-ins. And you know who does those check-ins? It is unlicensed individuals. This is a job where you only have to have a high school degree to get it. And I can say this because I did that job for 5 years. I was the clinician who was performing one-on-one therapy in her mind. No, I was doing check-ins. I did that job. So I promise you, this was not one-on-one therapy. I love my coworkers, and this is no disrespect to them. We were not people who were licensed or qualified in any way to give therapy, and we did not. And within these check-ins, I'm going to tell you what the conversations are. How's your day? How'd you sleep? Have you been able to eat today? Have you been able to go to groups? What's your treatment plan? Have you talked to your family? What's your doctor saying? There are brief questions at the end where we say, are you feeling safe? They aren't safety assessments, let's be honest. You do check that little box, but I'm telling you, that's the line of questioning. It is not one-on-one therapy. Now let's talk about something the prosecutor brought up today. She brings up and tells Patrick Clancy, are you aware that, Lindsay was also checked on every 15 minutes by staff? Let me tell you what she's referring to. We literally call this checks, okay? And it's when we would go around on the unit every 15 minutes, staff has to go around the unit. And you know what your job is on 15-minute checks? You make sure everybody's alive. You make sure everybody's not, people try to commit suicide on the unit. And the 15-minute checks is not conversations. We're going around and we're literally checking off on a board, we saw this person. You put a check, you put an A if they're in bed awake, and you put an S if they're asleep, and you put an O if they're off the unit. That's it. You're just going around. This isn't like check-ins. You're just visually putting eyes on them to legally indicate that they are okay. But this is not a check-in. It's just, hello, I see you. So another thing the prosecutor brings up today, and again, I think this is from the idea of clearly Lindsay was well enough. She brings up how, are you aware that Lindsay was granted permission to, go off the unit, go outside, right? And Patrick's like, well, yeah, I was aware, she went for a walk, and the prosecutor's kind of like, so she was allowed to go out. And again, I think she's trying to be like, If she was allowed to go outside, clearly she was okay. And I'm going to tell you guys something. 75% of the patients who are admitted to the unit, within 2 days get granted that permission. Sometimes it's the day they get there. The only patients who don't get granted that permission, and especially quickly, are the ones who are acute safety concerns. Those are patients who can't be trusted, in a sense, to not try to harm themselves if they leave the unit. There are patients who are flight risks, and they can't be granted the permission to go off the unit. Moving on to the next part.
Okay,
So what's interesting is that this woman actually took the stand in what's called voir dire, but she wasn't actually allowed to testify. Is a legal process where judge attorneys are both question prospective jurors or expert witnesses. So she was given a chance to speak in court, but not in front of the jury.
I think it's just voir dire.
Okay, Voyager.
No.
All right, let's go to day 17.
To the right? No.
To the left. Okay.
Who visited Lindsay Clancy over 200 times since the tragedy, described her first conversation with Clancy on the stand today.
And so when I went in on Tuesday the 31st, she said to me as I held her hand to comfort her, "I am so glad my children are safe." I replied theologically to Lindsay, and I said, "Lindsay, your children are safe. They're safe in heaven with God."
Sheila Kavanaugh also testified that Lindsay Clancy told her multiple times that she heard a male voice.
And the voice, according to Lindsay, told her that if she did not follow the command, neither she nor her children would be safe.
Now, Kavanaugh was the only witness to testify today. It was a short day, but it was a colorful day. We saw lots of women showing up wearing pink inside the courthouse, outside
Okay, that's
the courthouse.
good. Let's go
showing
to
their
Lindsay
support.
Clancy and the evidence versus social media. This woman, the crime junkie, is just amazing. She lays out the whole thing. You don't even need to watch my
Actually,
show.
the one who
but I feel like we're doing a little more commentary than she is, so I want to play parts of her breakdown here.
It feels like the entire world has all eyes on the Lindsay Clancy trial unfolding in Massachusetts right now. And trust me, we are deeply in it too. Of all the people involved in this case,
when I'm looking at her pictures, I'm not seeing evil murderer.
Taken the stand, something has stuck out to me hearing their accounts of what happened. We need to take a closer look at what did they know and when. 3 young kids lost their lives tragically. And something we don't always see, you have both the prosecution and the defense here agreeing the person who killed them was their mom, Lindsay Clancy. But this is not a cut and dry case. It is incredibly nuanced. Was it postpartum psychosis, as her defense team claims? Or were the killings premeditated? Did the medical community fail her when she asked for help? Or did they do all they could? And then you've had everyone spiraling online about her husband, Patrick Clancy, questioning if his testimony and timeline is adding up. The trial is unfolding right now as we speak. So, crime junkies, I'm Brianna Whitney, and in the headlines, of course, was one of the first to see his wife mentally deteriorating. He and Lindsay actually both detailed it in civil lawsuits right before the trial even began in July. So let's go back 4 years. This case really all began in September of 2022. Up until then, Patrick and Lindsay had what seemed to be a really great marriage. Both had good jobs. Lindsay was a labor and delivery nurse at Massachusetts General Hospital, and Patrick was working for Microsoft. On the personal front, they really had it all too. They had their daughter Cora, she's their oldest. She was 5 at the time. Son Dawson, who was 3, and Lindsay had just given birth to their 3rd child, Callan, who wasn't even 1 yet. Patrick himself said on the stand, Lindsay was such a good and loving mom. But like so many moms, Lindsay knew she was struggling with postpartum mental health, like severe anxiety and depression. She wasn't sleeping, and she described her body as being heavy. Now, it got bad enough that she went and sought psychiatric help in September of 2022. And Patrick testified he watched as Lindsay tried medication after medication from a multitude of doctors for months, and her condition just kept getting worse. He actually went to one of her appointments with her in December during what he testified was a big spiral, and he told the nurse practitioner things had gotten 10 times worse ever since she had been on the drug Seroquel, which is an antipsychotic. yet the CNP increased the dose, according to court records. And Patrick testified things had gotten so bad by December that Lindsay said,
So she's struggling. Nobody is suggesting taking a break. I mean, she has her mom. You'll hear later. Her mom comes for a little bit. Her mother-in-law comes for a little bit. But at one point, it was really sad because her mom said she asked something really weird. She asked if she could sleep with me because she was just feeling so off. And when she went and told the doctor things were getting worse, they just increased the medication.
she was having thoughts of hurting the kids and having paranoid delusions. And he remembered she said that more than once. So
the husband said that she came to him and said, I'm having delusions and I am having thoughts. She was having an out-of-body experience and she said, husband, I love our kids, but these thoughts are coming into my head of me harming these children.
Right.
She not only does she do that with him, but then she does, I want to go over here. I'm going to come back to that one. So leave that one up. I want to play the video with her mom because this one, let's go over here. Lindsay Clancy's mom. It's going to be to the left, I think. Lindsay Clancy's mom. So I'm going to go kind of quick on how she talks. I know it's not going to be, I'm going to let her, so I wanted you to hear what her mom has to say.
MUSG student, very excellent student all through school, through high school, college. Yes, excellent.
Ever been in trouble, law enforcement or schools or discipline or anything?
No.
Were you aware?
So again, what the right and almost the manosphere wants you to believe, and even some of the people in like Lila Rose and all these, like, they're like, evil exists, but evil exists in a pattern, not all at once.
That's really good.
Just because good exists in a pattern.
Sure.
Not all at once. Like you can do like one act of good and then suddenly you're a good person.
No.
Or you do one act of evil and you're an evil person. So.
Aware of her husband, Pat?
Yes.
And obviously, you knew when they got married, when they were dating and things of that nature, right? Went to the wedding, obviously?
Yes.
Fair to say that you were close to your daughter and Pat?
Yes.
And you knew, obviously, the grandchildren?
Yes.
Tell the jury how you interacted and felt about your grandchildren.
I love my grandchildren with all my heart. You never know what it's like to love a grandchild until you become a grandmother. And it was the most beautiful thing. I love them with all my heart.
Now, did you have occasion to see how Lindsay reacted and treated her kids as a mother?
Yes.
And granted that you're her mother, so you're obviously biased. Tell the jury what observations you made of Lindsay as a mother through the years after Cora was born, and then Dawson, and then, of course, baby Calvin.
Lindsay was a very loving mother. She was dedicated to her children. She was a fun mother. She was always doing things for her kids. She always wanted to be a mother, have many children, and I felt it was the best thing that ever happened to her, and she would do anything for her children. She was just a loving mother.
Now, in 2022, Calvin was born, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you stay in touch with Lindsay and Pat during that period of time, the spring into the summer of 2022?
Yes.
And how often would you see them or talk to them, or what would you do? You go to cookouts, or you have parties, or how would you socialize?
Myself and my husband would travel from Connecticut to Duxbury at least 2 or 3 times a month, as well as them coming to Connecticut to visit us.
And would you agree that in the summer, for example, of 2022, that Lindsay and Pat were active with the kids and were pretty happy?
Very happy, yes. Did
you observe in the summer of 22 any changes at that point in her personality and the way she was acting with her friends in society?
In the summer, no.
And they were having a fairly good summer?
Yes.
Did you notice at some point a change in Lindsay's demeanor?
Yes.
Tell the jury when that was.
It was sometime probably around the second week of October.
What happened that you noticed?
I noticed that she had become very anxious. She told me she was anxious about going back to work because Callan was having trouble taking a bottle and she didn't feel right about leaving him.
And as a result of that, did she tell you that she was going to put off going back to work?
Yes, she told me she was applying for an extension.
Now, did you know at that point that she was going through any issues involving depression or anxiety or having any suicidal ideation or anything like that?
At that point, no.
At what point, if any, did you become aware that your daughter was suffering from this symptomology?
In late October.
And how did that come about?
She sent me a text message.
And do you recall when that was?
Yes, that was on October 20th.
Now, Your Honor, the government has introduced into evidence the entire of the phone dumps, if you will, and I think they put it on a disc, and it's probably thousands of pages. But I do have the text thread that deals with that time frame in October. I'd like to offer that so that it's apparent what I'm referring to, rather than having to search through thousands of pages of a disc.
No objection. Okay. They may be admitted.
So approaching.
5276.
Now, the text message that you're referring to, would that be on October 20th of 2022?
Yes.
And do you have that on your phone right now?
I do.
Can you just pull that up for us?
I can. Just give me a moment. Okay, I have it.
Elsa, do you have a copy maybe that you could look at?
Oh, I have a copy.
Yeah, that might be easier for the witness.
So I'm going to approach you with.
He doesn't just have a copy, he's got to make a
Yes.
sign.
If this is a copy of the text that you're referring to,
Yes, it is.
would you read that for the jury?
Mom, will you please come up and stay with me for a bit? I'm really sick. Something is wrong. I had horrible insomnia all night, and I just don't know how I'm going to get through the day. I started taking the medicine my doctor prescribed for anxiety, and I think it's made things worse. It's just really scary, and I don't want to be alone.
You want to write off this?
Objection. It's already in evidence. What do we mark it for identification? Is that text within the? Well, I know you would, but we already have the.
Do you want a little thing? Can I just stop the board?
No, we're going to mark that for identification. The text that is been referred and read to is within Exhibit 276, which was just offered.
I'm sorry, which is what?
I think it was within Exhibit 276, which was within that thread that you just offered.
Okay, so I will then, that would be 276, so that will be over here. As a result of receiving that text, did you then come up to?
Hold on a second. Exhibit W for identification. Yeah, okay.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thank you.
So as a result of that, did you come up to Duxbury?
Yes, same day.
And tell us about that. What happened that day at the end of October?
Lindsay had been, I believe she went to the emergency room that day, and she had come home. She was feeling a bit better. She told me that she couldn't sleep. She was very anxious, and she was afraid.
And how long did you stay with her?
At that point?
Yes.
I believe at that point I stayed for about a week.
And was your husband with you?
He came later. He didn't come directly with me then because he was still working, so he came later.
I never asked. What did you do for work?
I worked for Weight Watchers.
And you're retired?
Yes.
How about your husband? Is he working now?
He recently retired.
And what was the nature of his work?
He was in photography.
What kind of photography? November and December into the holidays.
Through November into December, it was not getting better, and into the holidays.
And you knew she was on medication at that point?
Yes.
You knew she was seeing doctors at that point?
Yes.
So tell us, is there an incident that came to your mind that you recall that occurred on one evening that indicated to you how seriously she was suffering?
There were many. One particular evening that was disturbing to me was that, she was afraid. She was afraid to be alone, and she actually asked if she could sleep with me.
When was that?
That was late November, early December.
And did she indeed sleep with you on that occasion?
She did.
Continuing on through the holidays, did you guys get together for the holidays, Christmas or Thanksgiving, if you recall?
Yes, I was down there probably most of December through Christmas Eve, and then I left on Christmas Eve to come home to see my other daughter and her family, and then Lindsay actually came to my house later the day on Christmas Day.
Was she with Pat?
Yes.
Okay, and the kids?
Yes.
During that period of time, did you make further observation as time went into January? Oh, back it up. At some point, she voluntarily went into McLean Hospital?
Yes.
You knew that?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I was there.
What do you mean you were there?
I was at Lindsay's house staying with them.
You take care of the kids?
Yes.
And it's fair to say that Pat's parents, mom and dad, also stepped up, taking care of the kids, helping out during this period of time?
They were there, I guess, when we weren't there. I didn't really see them, but...
Right, because you guys would be different time frames.
Right.
But you all were pulling together as a family, is that
Right.
correct? January, leading up to January 24th, do you recall, and can you tell the jurors what, if any, observations you made of Lindsay and her condition?
Lindsay had lost a lot of weight. She had become, during this whole time, paranoid about different things that really she shouldn't have, really weren't logical to become paranoid about. She would mention that this wasn't her mind. She would say to me, this isn't me. I've never been like this before. And I would agree because she wasn't. She was attempting to go through the motions of her day, take care of the kids as best she could. She didn't want to drive. So at times when Pat didn't go pick the kids up at school, I would drive Lindsay to pick the kids up at school because she was afraid to drive.
Did she express to you concern that in this time frame that people at the school, teachers and other people would be able to know what she was thinking and would think that she wasn't a good mother because she was sick?
Yes, she said the school knows something's going on because I'm not driving my car. They see that I'm not driving my car to pick the kids up.
Do you recall at the end of January that she made a statement to you about the medication, in her opinion, what it was doing to her mind?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said that she couldn't remember anything. The medication was pretty much just destroying her mind, and it wasn't her. She said, this isn't me. I just want to feel better and enjoy my kids again.
Now, I know that this is difficult. In December of 2022, do you recall the time that you were in the kitchen with Lindsay and Patrick, and she made a statement about her state of mind to her husband, Pat, and you were there?
Yes.
I know it's difficult. Just tell us what you remember.
I remember her being very nervous. I remember her saying, I just have to tell you guys something. And then she told us.
What did she tell you?
She told us that she had thoughts of harming the children.
Thank you very much.
So I want to play now, and before I discuss that, because I really feel like that testimony means a lot. This is not an evil person. This woman told everyone she could that something was wrong with her. She told her husband on multiple occasions, something's wrong with me. I'm thinking about harming the kids. Help me, help me, help me. This is not like, I have bad days. Okay. I may talk to one or two people.
Yeah.
Okay. If I have any sort of really dark thoughts, I'm not telling 100 people. She is telling all the people she knows. This is her sister.
When you said she was decompensating around that time, what were they symptoms in your mind of?
Based on communication with Lindsay, and I started communicating with Pat directly at that time. She was reporting her mood was worsening, as she described as depression. She was having more suicidal thoughts. Insomnia continued to be an issue. She was really not feeling like herself.
And did you know that during that period of time where she was telling you about the suicidal thoughts and the issue of depression, that she was seeing doctors?
Yes.
And what did she tell you about seeing the doctors, and if she was on any medication, and if so, what effect did they have on her?
So the first thing she said about the doctors was back in October when she said that she saw a doctor for Zoloft and had a very awful reaction to that Zoloft.
Would that be Dr. Tufts?
I don't believe she shared that specific with me.
Share the name? Okay.
No. And then I think throughout our communication over the couple months of October to December, she did share with me that she was going to doctors, she was getting different prescriptions, kind of all the things that they were trying and different treatments they were looking at.
And do you recall when you were talking with her about her symptoms towards the end of December that she had, in your words, decompensated significantly and stated to you that she felt nothing and that she was scared, things of that nature?
Yes.
What else did she tell you, if you recall?
At the end of December, so I think it was more along the same of, that she is really not feeling well. Her mood is down. She's feeling numb. She's feeling hopeless. I believe at the very end of the month, she told me she had suicidal ideation every day for a month.
You recall towards the end of the month around New Year's that she voluntarily admitted herself somewhere?
Yes.
Do you know where she admitted herself?
McLean Hospital.
And while she was at McLean Hospital, ultimately, do you know how she got out of McLean Hospital?
It was my understanding that she was weaning off of some medication that she was on, and then was eventually discharged 5 days later.
Now, did you see her or talk to her after she left McLean Hospital trying to wean herself off of whatever medication it was? You don't know what the medication was, right?
I believe it was Seroquel.
Yep. Did she tell you anything to the effect that when she got out of the hospital that she felt as though this was a step in the right direction? Did she seem as though she was trying to be positive about her life?
Yes.
And tell us about that, because up until this point, you had observed her decompensating and having these symptoms and suicidal ideation and depression and feeling nothing and scary. When she got out of McLean, what did she appear to you and what did she say to you?
I believe she said she felt that was a good plan and that she was starting to feel better.
So was your sister, in your opinion, granted she's your sister and you're biased, obviously, but was she a complainer?
No.
And obviously, she didn't share with you in detail her doctors and medicines and things of that nature. Is that fair?
No.
But you were aware of the struggles and the hurt that she was going through?
Yes.
And then through the month of January, did you have occasion to see her, or were you, because you still live in different states?
Yes. Yes, I did have an occasion to see her in January.
When?
We went to Cora's birthday party.
And that was at the trampoline park?
Yes.
How did she appear at that?
I think she looked like she was going through the motions of putting together a birthday party for her daughter, but she looked tired. She looked like she was still struggling.
So there was a difference in your observation of what you had known your sister to have as a personality?
Yes.
And then, of course, the horrible day, were you aware, or did somebody call you and tell you that the children had been killed?
Yes.
One of them still survived and ultimately passed?
Yes.
And do you recall who told you that?
Yes.
Who was that?
My mother.
And as a result of getting the call from your mother, what did you do?
I jumped in a car, packed a bag, and I sped up to South Shore Hospital, which is where I was told she was.
Did you see her in South Shore Hospital?
No.
Did you know that she was then transferred to another hospital after South Shore?
Yes.
And what hospital was that?
I believe it was Brigham and Women's.
And
So
were you able to
she
visit her
was
in
transferred to
Brigham?
hospital because she jumped out of a window and tried to kill herself.
Yes.
And did it take some time before they would allow you to visit with her?
Yes.
How long, if you know?
I think it was approximately 2 weeks.
Okay. And then you were able to see her pretty much on a regular basis?
Yes.
And where does your mother and father live?
In Connecticut.
And are you close to them?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury, from the time of this incident in January 24th of 2023 up until now, 2026, where has your mother and father been living?
My parents have been spending the majority of their time up here in Massachusetts.
Why?
So that they could visit Lindsay as much as possible.
Almost on a daily basis?
Yes.
Was that in a bed and breakfast or a bed and bath, or was it a hotel, or where were they staying?
So you get that. Now I want to play this clip from this is a doctor. I think this is a doctor. I don't know, a researcher who is talking about everybody needs to understand that a psychotic break can happen due to hormonal shifts and the over-medication that may actually make it worse.
Lindsay Clancy and Hayden Panettiere are both in the news this week. Two women, both mothers, in the same window of life. I'm going to talk about how both of their stories share similarities about what's broken in America's postpartum maternal mental health care system. Both were given the same class of drug. For background, Hayden Panettiere became a leading voice in America on postpartum depression, and she lost an endorsement contract from Neutrogena for saying it out loud on television. Lindsay Clancy was a labor and delivery nurse who spent her career helping other women bring babies into the world, and when she needed help herself, she was just discharged from one facility after a single day and denied a higher level of care at another one because she couldn't produce a suicide plan. Here's what I'm going to cover in this video. You'll know the one warning sign that separates a normal, exhausted new mother from a genuine medical emergency, and it isn't just sadness. You'll know why the fastest thing that a doctor often reaches for in that moment may be the most dangerous. And you'll know exactly what to say and do if this is your daughter, your sister, or even yourself going through it. If you know a family with a baby in the house right now, please send them this video. I hope it can help people. I'm Neil K. Shah, a Johns Hopkins and NIH-funded caregiving researcher and the CEO of Careyaya. I've helped thousands of families navigate aging, dementia, and serious illness. I'm not a clinician, but a leading researcher and innovator in caregiving. This is one of the hardest videos I've made because two families are grieving in public right now, and one of these stories is still being decided by a jury. On Sunday, August 16, 2026, actress Hayden Panettiere was found unresponsive in an apartment in Greenville, South Carolina. She was only 36 years old. First responders performed advanced cardiac life support, and she was pronounced dead that afternoon. They completed an autopsy and found no signs of trauma. Police have said no signs of foul play. Now, the cause and the manner of death remain pending. Toxicology can sometimes take days or weeks, and no one yet knows exactly how she died. Meanwhile, 1,000 miles north, in Plymouth Superior Court in Massachusetts, Lindsay Clancy is on trial. She does not deny that she killed her 3 children, Cora, Dawson, and Callan, on January 24, 2023, but her defense argues that she should not be held criminally responsible because she was in the grip of postpartum psychosis and bipolar disorder worsened by the medications she was prescribed. She attempted to take her own life that night and is now paralyzed. Prosecutors reject that, and they argue she was in control of her actions and that she wanted to take her children with her. There is no verdict as of this recording. So how do these two stories connect? Because of one detail that almost nobody is reporting. Both Hayden Panettiere and Lindsay Clancy were on the same type of drug, benzodiazepines, also known as benzos. First, you need one piece of context historically or it won't make sense. In 1955, a chemist named Leo Sternbach was working at Hoffman LaRoche in New Jersey. He synthesized a compound that was the first benzo drug. Nothing came of it and it just sat on a shelf. 2 years later, in 1957, someone was cleaning out the lab, they found the abandoned compound, and almost as an afterthought, sent it in for testing. It worked spectacularly well. It became Librium, the first benzo drug. Then came its more famous younger sibling, marketed in 1963 under a name that the older generation knows well, Valium. From 1969 to 1982, Valium was the single most prescribed drug in America. At its peak in 1978, 2.3 billion tablets. The Rolling Stones even wrote a song about it, Mother's Little Helper, about a woman running to the shelter of the little yellow pill. That song was a hit well before the drug's usage peaked. By 1975, the government moved benzos to Schedule 4. In 1979, Senator Ted Kennedy held hearings on dependence. The reckoning came, but it came late, because the drug worked so well, so fast, that nobody wanted to hear it. Hold on to that phrase, it worked so well, so fast, because here's how it relates to our story today. Hayden Panettiere wrote in her 2026 memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning, published just 3 months before her death. She said that after her daughter Kaya was born in December 2014, she became addicted to alcohol and Klonopin. That's a benzo drug. In Lindsay Clancy's own note on her own cell phone, created in late December 2022 and last modified the day before the killings, she wrote that her Zoloft dose was increased, and afterwards she couldn't sleep a wink, so her psychiatrist told her to stop Zoloft and take Ativan and Benadryl to sleep instead. Ativan is also a benzo. And then she wrote the line that the entire defense rests on. That's when everything started going downhill. She described becoming dependent on medications to sleep. Klonopin and Ativan, different brand names for the same drug class, both benzodiazepines. Both are descendants of that compound found in that 1950s lab cleanup. I want to be careful here because I'm not telling you that a benzo drug did this. In the Clancy case, it's the exact question that a jury might be deliberating. But what I'm observing here is that two women in the same vulnerable window of life were both handed the same type of drug for the same underlying problem. And that problem is the thing that almost nobody actually understands. It wasn't just sadness, it was sleep. If you take one thing from this video, take this. There's a specific kind of insomnia that shows up after childbirth, and it's not the ordinary new parent type of exhaustion. It's the inability to sleep even when the baby is sleeping. A tired new mother often collapses the second that the baby goes down. A mother in the early stage of postpartum psychosis just lies there, totally wired, hour after hour, night after night, with an infant sleeping peacefully 10 feet.
So this is the most important distinction between postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis. In psychosis, you can't sleep, and that increases the psychosis. And in depression, you get really, really excited, you get really, really tired, and then you can fall asleep. And, you know, they need to be treated in two different ways.
Feet away. Look at Lindsay Clancy's text message to her own mother, shown to the jury this week. Mom, will you please come up and stay with me for a bit? I'm really sick. Something is wrong. I had horrible insomnia all night. A 2023 review by the American Psychiatric Association put it simply: insomnia is often the earliest and most common symptom of postpartum psychosis, and protecting sleep is increasingly seen as essential to prevention.
So insomnia, meaning I can't sleep even if I'm tired, is probably the key to all early psychosis.
A 2024 prospective study out of the UK, the Bipolar Disorder Research Network, followed women at high risk. Losing even one full night of sleep around delivery was associated with roughly 5 times higher odds of postpartum psychosis. And now,
Losing one night of sleep, 5 times increased postpartum psychosis.
92% of those episodes hit within the first 2 weeks. Back in 2003, researchers Sharma and Mazmanian proposed that sleep loss may be the final common pathway to psychosis in vulnerable women. Here we are.
This is crazy. This is why I brought up Michelle's situation with her endocrine system crashing. Lack of sleep is the thing that is a precursor to psychosis in women.
We are 23 years later, and that idea is still standing. Now, there's a trap. It's that I can't sleep sounds like the easiest problem in medicine to solve.
Though.
A sedative fixes it in 20 minutes. Except, sedating someone doesn't tell you why they couldn't sleep. And if the insomnia is the first sign of something much bigger, you've now treated the smoke alarm instead of extinguishing the fire.
That is so important now. There's not being able to sleep, but you want to sleep. Then there is like your brain is wired and it won't shut off. That is the precursor really to psychosis. And what he said there is that these doctors, when they hear of like the women, the postpartum women who can't sleep, they will prescribe them medication. But the problem is that they fall asleep maybe in 20 minutes, but that's like taking out the fire alarm and not stopping the fire. Why is this woman not able to sleep?
Now, to be clear, there's no controlled trial proving that sedating early postpartum psychosis will make outcomes worse. But let's go back to September 2015 now. Hayden Panettiere is on the TV show Live with Kelly and Michael. She's 26 years old, she's on one of the biggest shows on TV, and she does something almost nobody was doing at the time. She tells the truth about postpartum mental health. Listen exactly what she said. When you're told about postpartum depression, you think it's, I feel negative feelings towards my child, I want to injure or hurt my child. And she said, I've never ever had those feelings. Some women do, but you don't realize how broad of a spectrum you can really experience that on. Hayden was raising awareness. The following month, she voluntarily entered treatment. She took a leave from Nashville. She came back. She went again in 2016 and said publicly that postpartum depression had affected every aspect of her life. And in her memoir published earlier this year, she wrote what happened next. She wrote that Neutrogena, a brand that she had represented for almost a decade, canceled her contract.
So
here's what she wrote about how it felt. Being seen as an unfit mother. In the 1800s, this condition had a different name, pure. And if you study history, it will genuinely surprise you here. In the 1800s, this system that says it's okay for women to speak up, but then often punishes them when they do. Hayden Panettiere said she lost an endorsement contract. Lindsay Clancy's journals and phone notes, the private record of a woman documenting her own collapse, are now exhibits in a murder trial read out loud to a jury. That's the shame around this topic. That's why many women stay quiet until it's an emergency. And if you study history, it will genuinely surprise you here. In the 1800s, this condition had a different name, puerperal, P-U-E-R-P-E-R-A-L, insanity. It was a major recognized diagnostic category in Victorian asylums. Doctors studied it, wrote about it, and admitted women for it. In 1858, a French physician named Louis-Victor Marseille published an entire treatise on mental illness in pregnant women, new mother, and nursing mothers. There's an international scientific society named after him today. But then the diagnosis kind of just vanished. Open the DSM, the current American Psychiatric Diagnostic Manual, and look for postpartum psychosis as a standalone diagnosis. It isn't there. It exists as a specifier and add-on, but not its own condition. Think about that. A condition that Victorian physicians named, categorized, and wrote books about in the 1800s. In 2026, it's not even a distinct entry in our own diagnostic manual. Google it for yourself. So there are major consequences that result from this. Some psychiatrists can even complete their entire training without even encountering a single case. And when doctors testify, as Lindsay Clancy's doctors did, that they never observed mania or psychosis in her, that testimony has to be weighed against a hard question. Were they even trained to look for it? I'll give you both sides of the issue because the prosecution's position is that her provider saw her repeatedly and saw no psychosis. That's evidence for the jury to determine. Now let me address the objection that some of you may be thinking, that these two women's situations aren't the same. The strongest version of that criticism comes from Dr. Susan Hatters-Friedman, a professor of forensic psychiatry at Case Western Reserve. Her warning is that media only covers maternal mental health when violence is involved, and that the public then fuses postpartum with meaning dangerous. Her fear is that women watching this will see themselves in the headline and decide never to tell anyone because they don't want to risk losing their kids. I think she's partially right, so here's how to handle it. Postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis are not the same condition. Postpartum depression roughly affects 1 in 8 mothers. It's common, treatable, and does not make a woman dangerous. Hayden Panettiere had postpartum depression, and she said explicitly for a decade that she never had thoughts of harming her children. Postpartum psychosis is rare, somewhere around 1 to 2 per 1,000 births. It usually strikes fast, often within the first 2 weeks, and it is a medical emergency, almost like a stroke or a heart attack. The link between these two women is not what actions either of them did, but they were both prescribed the same type of drug, and they both navigated a totally broken mental health system that didn't properly support their own mental health care. And even in postpartum psychosis, the fear is sometimes overstated. The researcher Ian Brockington, who studied these cases for decades, found that the rate of harm to children was under 1% of episodes without overt depression, and he specifically cautioned that the risk has been exaggerated. With prompt and specialized treatment, the prognosis for first onset postpartum psychosis can actually be good. Now here's a number I've been building towards this entire video. In August 2024, researchers Quire, Suleiman, Telsiar, and Liu published a study in JAMA Network Open counting perinatal psychiatrists across the US, doctors specifically trained in mental health during pregnancy and after birth. 21 states have fewer than 1 perinatal psychiatrist for nearly 5,000 births. Nationally, the Maternal Mental Health Leadership Alliance estimates fewer than 500 such psychiatrists in America that are formally trained in reproductive mental health, against roughly 800,000 women a year experiencing maternal mental health complications. Now compare that to the UK. Britain runs roughly 22 specialized inpatient mother and baby units. These are hospital wards where the mother in crisis is admitted with her infant, so she gets treatment without losing her child. About 22 entire units for the country, around 600,000 total births a year. By comparison, the US has only 5 inpatient perinatal psychiatric programs. 45 states have none. So why did Britain build them and we didn't? Partly it's the law. In 1922, Parliament passed the Infanticide Act, amended later, that created a distinct legal category for a mother who harmed her child, while the balance of her mind was disturbed by childbirth. Britain decided almost a century ago that this was a medical condition the legal system had to account for. That statute is still on the books, but America chose a different path. We chose jury trials. In June 2001, Andrea Yates drowned her 5 children in Houston. She was convicted in 2002. That conviction was overturned in 2005 after a prosecution expert gave false testimony. At her 2006 retrial, a jury found her not guilty by reason of insanity. That was 20 years ago. 20 years of national attention, awareness campaigns, ribbons, hashtags, and yet very little has actually changed. Even worse, Lindsay Clancy was a labor and delivery nurse. She worked inside the maternal healthcare system. She even knew exactly what was happening to her. Investigators reportedly found the book, Good Moms Have Scary Thoughts, in her.
This is so heartbreaking. This woman had a book, Good Moms Have Scary Thoughts. In Great Britain, they have 22 actual units where multiple women can come and stay with their babies. And on the first, if there's a first harm for that child, and that, like, you're not given a trial, you're taken to a hospital with your baby to make you better because something went wrong. Something went wrong in your brain and we need to help you through it. The UK, Michelle, you missed this part, but in UK, they have actual wards where they have mothers who actually harm their children go and get help. Wow. And Lindsay Clancy knew what was wrong with her. Yeah. And she was trying to get help. Yeah. In her room is a book called Good Moms Have Scary Thoughts.
Oh, wow.
Her home. She told her family that she was sick. She tried to seek help.
She told her family she was sick.
And according to testimony that was presented, she was discharged from one facility after a single day and denied a higher level of care at another because she couldn't demonstrate that she had a specific plan to end her own life.
So she was denied a higher level of care because she's saying, I want to commit suicide.
But I don't know how.
But I don't know how I'm going to do it.
You know, it's hard to kill yourself.
But you know what's even worse? So then she decided to go and look how.
Yeah.
Well, they're telling me I need to go look and see how to do it.
Unbelievable.
Wait, what do you mean? You never tell a person who's saying to commit suicide, well, you need a plan. Come back with a plan.
Oh my God.
We'll give you help if you come back with a plan on how you're going to do it.
Unbelievable.
The defense in the Lindsay Clancy.
Go back to this one.
Things were noticeably really, really concerning by this point. But Patrick said sometimes it was hard because Lindsay would be severely struggling one minute, but then playing with the kids and seemingly happy the next.
That's psychosis. Michelle and I were kind of running. I'm not going to diagnose this gal from a chair, but schizophrenia comes on in the 20s and 30s. And we did do a little Google search, as good as it can be. And you can have, for people who are prone to maybe having a schizophrenic break, the postpartum hormones and the sleeplessness can cause your brain to enter into psychosis.
Right.
so it was really hard to navigate. Lindsay spent 5 days in a psychiatric facility in early January 2023 and was released in time for Cora's birthday party on January 7th. And by January 24th, he actually said Lindsay had been having one of her best days. She had taken Cora to the pediatrician, then she was outside building a snowman with the kids. All was well, at least he thought. Patrick and Lindsay had been talking about getting takeout for dinner that night at a restaurant called 3V. So when Lindsay texted him at 5:15 p.m. asking if he could go pick up some Pedialax at CVS for Cora, it was like, yeah, no problem. He could grab the medicine and then go pick up their dinner. Now, if you are chronically online, like me, or even remotely watching videos about the Lindsay Clancy trial, then you know that
I'm going to skip the part about the husband and maybe possibly, because I don't think he did it. So, and then there are a lot of crime junkies who think that he did. So.
At Fordham School of Law in New York, and she focuses on running a criminal defense clinic. She's also a former assistant U.S. attorney. And she says you have to remember what you hear and read online from people putting their watchers and sleuths online. Someone isn't criminally responsible for the killings that their own legal team says they did. But in this case, with the concerning testimony we were about to hear on the stand from the doctors who saw and treated Lindsay during her mental demise, and what Lindsay reportedly said herself, I think the insanity defense has momentum.
I think it does too.
Antidepressants. Ultimately, the defense said Lindsay was prescribed 13 different medications during those 5 months. So what did the doctors know?
13 mind-altering medications in 5 months. 13.
They're not sugar pills, dude.
During that time that led to that. The doctor Lindsay Clancy saw the longest and most often was psychiatrist Dr. Jennifer Tufts with Astor Mental Health. And Lindsay first went to her in September of 2022 and saw her through January. Their last appointment together was actually the day before the murders happened. It's worth noting that both Lindsay and Patrick Clancy have civil malpractice lawsuits against several of the doctors who have testified at the trial. Dr. Tufts is one of them. Tufts said Lindsay first reported she was having anxiety and couldn't sleep. And that turned into Lindsay showing signs of severe depression. By January, Tufts recorded Lindsay's condition as deteriorating. Now, Tufts spent a lot of time on the stand, and it did not go overly well. For one thing, her career was called into question by the defense. She had actually only been independently practicing psychiatry for 1 month when she saw Lindsay Clancy. And then something that shocked the internet of trial watchers in the worst way. Dr. Tufts said she saw Lindsay 14 different times, but never in person. These were only virtual appointments, no longer than 25 minutes, which was criticized by Lindsay's defense team as Dr. Tufts watched Lindsay's condition go dry.
This woman is wanting to commit suicide, and this woman saw her for 25 minutes. She didn't see her. This woman needs to be disbarred. She had to practice for 1 month. This is what happened. So in September of 2022, this woman here diagnosed her with generalized anxiety and prescribed a low dose of Zoloft. Clancy reported feeling worse, unable to sleep, and the doses rapidly increased by this person, not doing any therapy, not talking to her, not seeking any other help or at all, like no team, nothing.
Drastically downhill. And then there was a question of what Dr. Tufts actually wrote on the record about Lindsay's condition, which led to this tense moment in the courtroom.
Can you just read this paragraph here for us?
No sleep last night. Falls asleep after 40 minutes. Heart racing, severe anxiety. Worrying about kids, baby, sleep. Yawns, but not drowsy. Not hyper, pressured speech.
What was that? Not hyper what?
Not hyper, not pressured speech is what I meant. I know it doesn't say not, but that is exactly what I meant.
Wait, when did you see this that you noticed that it did not say not?
I don't care what it says. I know what I meant.
Well, when you wrote this, you did not say not pressured speech. You said in the medical record, pressured speech, right?
No.
Does it say that?
Yeah, the word not is right before not hyper, comma, pressured speech. The two are following the not.
Reddington asked Dr. Tufts if she had ever treated a patient with postpartum psychosis. And Tufts said no, because it's a rare disorder, and she'd only been practicing 1 month. But what about someone else? Dr. Aaliyah Goodhart. Dr. Goodhart worked at McLean Hospital. That's the psychiatric facility that Lindsay spent 5 days at just weeks before she reportedly killed her kids. And Goodhart had been practicing psychiatry for more than 20 years. She also is being sued by the Clancys for malpractice. Now, Dr. Goodhart testified that Lindsay had concerns about an antipsychotic she had been prescribed to help with insomnia, and she said she had been feeling numb. But Dr. Goodhart testified that Lindsay never said she had thoughts of harming anybody else. And when she started to feel better and wanted to make it to her daughter Cora's birthday party, doctors at McLean discharged her on January 5th with prescriptions for an anti-anxiety drug and a sleep aid. So, what if things got worse? What should she do? And Dr. Goodhart said they told Lindsay to just check out psychologytoday.com to find outpatient providers with her insurance. This was a woman.
She came in with suicidal thoughts. She saw a doctor for like one day. And they said, oh, goodbye. If you have any questions, go on Psychology Today and try to find another outpatient therapist.
Who was clearly severely ill. And we're just suggesting Psychology Today. Reddington definitely questioned in court if that was adequate discharge care. He also asked Dr. Goodhart the same question he asked Dr. Tufts. Had she seen someone with postpartum?
You know, when you leave a hospital, they have a follow-up appointment with your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, and if you don't have a doctor, they make an appointment for you.
Yeah.
Psychosis.
How many women have you treated that were suffering from postpartum psychosis?
I don't recall. I don't remember, but I think it would stick in my memory, so I don't think that I probably have.
You don't think you probably have?
I don't think I have.
So neither had seen someone with that condition as the defense claims Lindsay has. And then you have the other part to the medical care equation. These doctors and providers didn't know how others were also treating Lindsay Clancy simultaneously. Rebecca Gelada, who was a psychiatric nurse practitioner at South Shore Health, testified that she also saw Lindsay Clancy several times where Lindsay told her at times she was having intrusive thoughts and feeling completely hopeless. So Gelada also prescribed Lindsay different medications to try and help, including that antipsychotic that seemed to make things far worse. But Gelada was actually the one who explored a possible bipolar diagnosis, which Lindsay's defense team believed she also was suffering from. But she testified someone denied to her that Lindsay could have an underlying bipolar disorder. And that person was Patrick Clancy. Gelada revealed that she had no idea that Lindsay had seen Dr. Tufts 14 times. She thought she'd only seen her one time in September. And she said she never talked to anyone from the other hospitals Lindsay had gone to. So much so, she said she didn't even have access to the records from McLean Psychiatric Hospital, where Lindsay saw Dr. Goodhart. Now, I asked law professor Cheryl Bader about a major takeaway I had after watching all of their testimony about Lindsay's care. One thing that I noticed is watching these witnesses for the prosecution, in a lot of ways, it seemed like their testimony actually aided the defense in terms of the massive amount of medications that were taken, the miscommunication or non-communication between all these different providers. She was going back and forth trying to get more help. And is that detrimental for the prosecution to have these witnesses that you're calling for your case? But then it seems that almost what they were saying was actually helpful for Lindsay's case.
Yeah, I think that the prosecution has to call certain.
So I'm going to pause that real quick. I'm going to come right back. The prosecution argument was saying that she only had like 7 of 30 Zoloft pills, 6 of 30 Ativan pills. They argued her erratic pill taking meant she was unmedicated or undergoing severe withdrawal rather than being intentionally over-medicated. But a forensic toxologist testified that 6 drugs, Ativan, Valium, Seroquel, Lamictal, Rama, and Trazodone, were active in her blood post-arrest.
Oh my gosh.
Mostly within standard therapeutic ranges rather than overdose levels, but they were all in her system.
Yeah.
Certain witnesses to establish their case because they have
defense team in real time. A woman named Emily Thorndike, he focused heavily on the amount of times Lindsay tried to get help and the amount of people she expressed needing help to. Both Lindsay's mom and Patrick's mom testified for the defense, and both agreed Lindsay was a very loving and caring mother to all 3 of her kids. Her mom, Paula Musgrove, said Lindsay also told her in December 20.
This is not a case of evil. When you killed these women's grandchildren, your ex-husband's grandchildren, and your mother-in-law is a witness for your defense because she knew you. She knew you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I really find disturbing is the right and like the Zero Hedge article, which was like, evil is in this world. We can't just let evil go. And when I'm hearing that, I just feel like that's not the argument to be had here.
2022, that she had thoughts of harming the kids. And she recalled they had a lot of these texts back and forth daily for months, where Lindsay would detail the highs and the extreme lows of feeling better than worse as she navigated her mental health. And she remembered one of those texts saying, "It's just really scary, and I don't want to be alone." Now, Patrick's mom, Sue Clancy, was adamant on the stand that Lindsay was begging for help and that they were all very concerned. And that's when Reddington reminded the jury Lindsay tried calling the suicide hotline twice, but then was turned away both times because she didn't have an active plan to carry out.
Everyone in her life, she was literally crawling on her hands and knees to your mother-in-law, to your mom, to your sister, to your friend, to everybody. Help me, help me, help me. Something, literally telling everyone in her life, I'm not myself. I'm not myself. I'm not myself. Help me, help me, help me. And they didn't know what else to do. They're believing that these psychiatrists are helping her.
Suicide. And then while Sue Clancy was on the stand, there was this shocking back and forth that caused a dust-up in the courtroom. While being questioned by the prosecution, Sue Clancy confirmed she is of the Catholic faith. And then, in what seemed to be this out-of-the-left-field question, the prosecutor said, "So you're aware murder is considered to be a mortal sin?" And the judge immediately shut that down. He called an immediate sidebar with the attorneys and later instructed the jury that they cannot include that when they're considering a verdict.
That was religious abuse.
Yeah, 100%.
But they can't unhear that. The defense's case also gave us our first insight into conversations Lindsay had with the doctor right after the murders, while she was still in the hospital recovering. Dr. Paul Zeisel testified he has seen Lindsay more than 45 times. And in the days after the murders, when he first saw her in the hospital, he said she was not faking it and presented as honest. He said someone who struggles with psychosis can have what he described as these intermittent symptoms, where one day they're fine, the next day they're not. The prosecution has argued as part of their case that Lindsay Clancy only reported hearing voices after meeting with Dr. Zeisel in the hospital. The defense has said that is not true and has repeatedly said she had a psychotic break and followed what the voices were telling her to do, which was to kill the kids and then kill herself. To fully understand this trial, we need to know Lindsay's thoughts before the crime. We've heard a lot about what she told doctors and family, but what was she actually thinking herself? Well, that became clearer when State Police Sergeant Timothy Chiappini took the stand about his forensic search of Lindsay Clancy's cell phone. Now, that revealed what she was researching and looking up before the killings, and it was highly concerning. He testified Lindsay researched, "Can you treat a sociopath?" just 4 days before the murders. He also said searches on her phone showed how to slit throat to die and how to turn airbags off in Kia Sorento. And Reddington wanted the court to see and the jury to see that she was looking up ways to self-harm before this. He wanted to make it a point so much so that he actually held up a giant poster board so everyone could see it. Now, we don't know yet if Lindsay Clancy will take the stand herself in this trial. But I think for context in this episode, you guys need to hear what she says happened that day from her perspective, the day of the murders. And we know what that is because it's all documented in her civil lawsuit. Lindsay Clancy remembers January 24th a little differently than just taking Cora to the doctor and building a snowman with the kids. Her civil lawsuit alleges she woke up with suicidal thoughts, and those continued throughout the day. Now, she said later that afternoon, she heard a voice that was starting to tell her, "You should harm the children." It wasn't long after she heard that voice that she and Patrick were discussing getting takeout for dinner, and she claimed she mapped out how long it would take him to get to all the errands because she didn't want to be alone for too long at home in case she needed help. Important note here, though, the prosecution claims she mapped out how long it would take him to be gone, so she knew how long she had to kill the kids because they say it was intentional and premeditated. The two sides very much disagree on her motive behind looking up the map directions. Lindsay then said after Patrick left, the voice in her head was screaming at this point, saying, "This is your last chance. Kill the children so you can kill yourself. You have to kill the kids so you can kill yourself." And according to the lawsuit, she then described feeling disconnected from her body, losing all control and only being able to follow commands. Now, this part's really hard to hear. She said as she strangled each of her children, she said, "Go to God, baby," before slitting her wrist and neck and then jumping from the window. Now, will she testify to this during trial? It is possible, especially with an insanity defense. Either way, the outcome of this is really a matter of if the jury believes her story, believes her version of events. And they watched Lindsay uncontrollably sob in the courtroom during testimony about the autopsies of her children. Online,
So I have that video up. This one, if you go to this one and then think about...
And did you perform...
let's see, about 3.5 minutes in. No, 3 minutes in.
All right, Counsel, could...
We'll go back just a little bit. So she's recounting how the children were found.
A ligature is when you have external compression by an object on the neck, and a furrow is simply a pattern of injury that occurs beneath it. It can be an imprint, it could be a pattern, or it could be more developed types of injuries such as bruising or abrasions.
And what about injuries?
All right, Counsel, could... I'm going to take a break this time, all right?
All right.
That
Close your notebook.
attorney
Place them on the chairs, please.
is feeling. He's the best attorney she could ever have. He really cares for her. Here's the thing. I'm going to
There's
pause
a
that.
kind of a.
You're about to say what I'm about to say.
Say it,
So, I don't care how many Hollywood movies you've seen. We all know when someone is legitimately crying, like you can't breathe, and it's felt, right? There's something in the room in the moment that you feel it. Those are real tears, and so everybody, including the prosecutor, is feeling that moment.
She had a nanny, and you can play this, go to my history, and her nanny describes the children, and then she sobs again.
This is like, regardless of what you want to say, it's real. Like,
During this interaction, or was Lindsay present too?
Lindsay was, I think, in the kitchen at the same time.
Did you see her react to that when she saw that behavior?
She did.
What do you do for work?
I'm a nanny
How long have you been a nanny?
for about 15 years now.
In July of 2022, did you become familiar with the Clancy family?
I did.
And how did you become involved with their family?
She was very Fresh Mart, which was a little children's supermarket. She was lovely.
Or
Not at all. I was only with him on a handful of occasions.
did you ever see Dawson kind of interacting with his siblings, with Cora or with Callan?
I did.
And did you see anything, or could you tell us a little bit about Dawson's interactions with them?
Cora and Dawson played well. There was one occasion in the kitchen where they were playing in Alan.
And she saw that behavior?
She did.
And what was their reaction? What did she do?
She went over and removed Callan. She removed Dawson from the room and came back and consoled Callan.
Okay. And eventually, did you see her go back and kind of talk to?
So there was a stream of people. I don't think I have this video and we're going pretty late, so we need to sign off. I don't know if I have that video. There was a stream of friends that came up to
support her?
Yeah, to testify.
Okay.
And they all
Like character witnesses?
Yeah, so many had testified that, to her character, but also to the fact that she told them that she was struggling.
Okay.
And that I just don't know of another case of somebody who's like a premeditated murderer that's going around saying basically, help me, 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 help me.
Yeah.
And I was reading comments on some of these that like on the one with the lady, the girl that did the really good breakdown. One woman said, like, this kind of happened to me. I was having postpartum like issues, and I had thoughts about my child, of harming my child. And luckily my mother-in-law came in, she took over, I got sleep, I got through it, and I raised my child, and I love my child. I just feel like what's not happening is this needs to be a conversation to where there are bad people. And honestly, you see them in the inner city, low income, that will sell their children to traffickers that harm their children, but they are really broken, evil people, right? We heard of one woman who put their child in a microwave or all kinds of stupid stuff, horrible things. And that is evil. This woman heard voices that said, you need to kill yourself and you need to kill your children. And what we haven't really discussed and nobody's discussed is a demonic element.
100%.
And the demonic element of when you're adding in these pharmaceuticals, which are pharmakia, which are witchcraft.
Yeah.
So she was having postpartum depression, and one woman nonchalantly just posted on Twitter that she had like a postpartum depression and things were really horrible and awful for her. And her husband took her to the beach, gave her time off, helped her sleep, let her ground, let her reset her body, let her reset her system. And she said, maybe I might have been this Lindsay girl. And unfortunately on the left, there's a lot of women out there who are just very angry. And there is, and I don't want to play this, there's this throwing ice at the bathtub challenge, trying to get your anger out. That's not going to work, because if your cortisol level is super high, then your life is really stressed. And I can't vouch for all those other women. So can I just focus on people and women like Lindsay for a minute? Because there may just be selfish, horrible, evil people out there.
Yeah.
But let's just take the woman who's had 2 pregnancies and she loves her kids, and everybody in her life is like, she loves her kids, and she's telling herself, I love my kids. I love my life. Then 3rd child, I can't send him back. I can't send him back.
Wait, when
to
you
daycare,
say send him
to
back,
daycare,
right,
to
right,
daycare.
right.
I can't send him to daycare. I can't go back to work. Is what I meant to say is what she started to say was, I can't go back to work. I can't go back to work. My child's not ready to leave me. I can't go back to work. She starts to have the psychotic break of leaving her child. I am personally going to say that's what caused the psychotic break. The idea of she had a psychotic break. I believe that if her husband had said, you don't have to go back to work, let's take a break. Let's take everything off of you. The mother tried to come in, the mother-in-law tried to come in. I just don't think that, maybe not starting any medications at all, maybe a diet change. There could have been a long list of things, but whatever happened to Lindsay, I don't believe it was her fault, because she, for 2 or 3 months, was saying the most embarrassing things that you could ever say. Guys, you have to understand, nobody tells your mom and your husband that,
and your dad.
and she said, her mom said she was really nervous and she was really shaking. And she's like, I have to tell you something. And they didn't know what to do with it. She had horrible psychiatrists, horrible therapists, and they should have been like, I am not qualified to help you. I need to get you somewhere else, to like a med spa, and somebody just else even take the kids away. And she needs to not be a mom for a little while. She needs a vacation. She needs a trip. She needs to, detox and just not have this responsibility. And like the grandparents, like, I'll take the kids. Where can you go somewhere where you feel
So-
and she tried to put herself in a mental hospital, but that mental hospital was not a happy-go-lucky place. It was not a good place to detox at all,
I think that we need to insert the complexity of any kind of situation like this. So let's start with this number one thing that I think no one is addressing, although Leah just tried to. At the most primal level of humanity, from the beginning of time, every mom knows that their baby needs them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the first 5 years of their life. Most specifically, the first year of their life. And so every mother that has to deal with going back to work within the first, how many days do they get? 3 months or something like that? Maybe not even that long. Has to separate and dissociate and break in their mind the very most primal instinct within a mom, which is, nobody can take care of my baby like I can take care of my baby. And no mother should ever be forced to have that separation. It is an unfortunate part of society that 2 parents have to have an income, or you have to have a 2-parent income. It's like, so I agree with Leah, but I wanted to take it a step further now. So when you say they should have taken the kids away from her, if you put it in real life scenario, she thinks she's the only one that can care for her kids. That was the whole problem.
Well,
So,
no, because she put herself in mental hospital, and I was reading some comments. This one woman was like, I was glad for somebody. I knew that I was
I know, but
probably-
I'm saying I think that that's why they didn't do it, because everybody that's surrounding her is thinking that she has to be there to take care of them. You know what I mean? I'm thinking real life situation.
She was ready to, when she was telling them she's having these thoughts, in my opinion, what I'm hearing is she's like, get them away from me. If you can, I'm not safe. If somebody,
I'm just saying in real life situation,
that's what
they
other
probably
people
didn't think that was an option.
Well, sure.
And that's where what Lee and I are saying is, in these types of situations, you should always go ahead and do the thing that seems impossible. And you may never know that you avoided a Lindsay Clancy situation, right? Like with us, I mean, I didn't have kids or anything like that, but like, and no one wants to think that you're capable of that, right? But here's the problem. That's arrogant. Because with a mental break that you cannot control and drugs that you cannot control, no one can say that I would be able to overcome a mental break, or I would be able to overcome 13 drugs in my system, and that no matter what, I would never. That is arrogance at its highest peak. Okay, now you can say, in my right mind and without any drugs, I would never, right? That's a very fair statement that all of us are allowed to hold to that. But we're not looking at that situation. It's kind of like you look at these prostitutes that get addicted to drugs, and you look at the kids that get raised to become like those murderers in Africa and stuff. I'm not going to make a judgment call on what should happen to Lindsay. I'm not there. I'm not in the court. I have not heard all the testimonies. I have not heard the trial, whatever. But what I am saying is, everybody else, you need to sit down, because you making a judgment call saying she's guilty as sin and she should, hang them high, the evil does exist and she's the epitome of evil. You don't know that. You don't know that. That's why we have the court system that we have, which is a failing system. It's not that great. But you can't just sit there and say on the outside, I know for a fact. Now, we can make kind of like this is what it seems like. And I will say that looking at the testimony of the family that has said this was Lindsay her entire life, she never showed any symptoms of being psychotic. She always loved her kids. We can go back to a very specific date, and then everything spiraled, and she went to everybody and their mother and their brother asking for help and did all of the things that were required of her and requested of her. And then she was turned away and let down at every corner. That does speak very loudly to me. And those are my final thoughts on tonight's show, which we do have to sign off soon.
And what was interesting is that the preschool teacher for the Cora, the day before the thing happened, or no, not the day before, it was why her mom
Cora
was in
is
the
one of the
hospital.
children.
Yeah, had said to her that she missed her mom while she was in the hospital, and I think that
it's like these kids loved their mom, obviously. And yes, Cindy says, yes, there is a demonic component to this sad situation. And with the multiple mind-altering drugs, it's not good for any mother. The medical providers failed her.
So I just hope that we were able to bring just a little bit to this story that is different from the conservative megaphone, which is she's an evil mom. She killed her kids. It's over. I just don't think that that's the case here. And I don't know why they feel the need to do that. Like, why not have the nuanced conversation? Why not?
Well, it certainly doesn't help prevent anything like this from happening again.
Yeah.
It doesn't help
Nobody's
other
gonna wanna
women
come
get
forward
help.
if you're saying, no, I want to give you help. And it honestly, I would say that the pink hairs are not helping in the situation, because they are just angry people, and I wouldn't trust it. I want to be on the opposite side of them too.
Right. So here's my question. If conservatism, which we align ourselves with, obviously, is supposed to be Christianity, where are the Christians in this, saying we need to do better
to take care of moms.
to take care of these situations and to
Yeah.
take care of these people.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm not putting all of the onus on the medical profession.
No.
Because we,
Yeah.
as the body of Christ, we have answers. Jesus came to heal the brokenhearted. Jesus came to set the captives free. Jesus came to cast out demons. And guess what? He gave us that same exact mandate of all of those things. And so if we as Christians are going to sit here and say, well, that's just evil. Are you trying to cast demons out? Are you trying to bind up the brokenhearted? Are you trying to set the captives free every day? Or are you just going to look at somebody and say, you can't be helped. You're just evil. Guys, we have a responsibility in all of this. We have a part to play. That's all I got. Wicked Psych says she may be able to help other women going through the same thing if she doesn't go to prison, but I still don't know what the outcome of the trial would be. I agree. I don't know what the outcome should be in this either. I don't, because I do believe that if you are a danger to society, then even if you were insane, you still might be insane, even if you plead insanity. So I don't know what the answer is in this. I think that if I were put in a position to have to come up with an answer, I would just pray to God like Daniel did to get the interpretation of the dream of the king, because I think that the answer in this needs to be divine. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to pray. God, I just thank you that you know all things and that you see all things. I just pray that you would convict those that are trying to cast judgment on this from their armchair quarterback seats. And you convict them and that they repent.
Amen.
And that they get on their knees and their faces before God and they say, God, we don't know what the answer is here. You need to help society and you need to help those in Plymouth, Massachusetts to be able to make the right decision. So Father God, none of us knows what should happen to Lindsay Clancy, but you do. And so Lord, I just pray that you will see your Holy Spirit go into each and every single juror in this case, and that you will speak to them, and that divine justice, whatever that is, will be the outcome in this case. And Father God, I just thank you that you do have the little children, that you do have these children with you, and we praise you for that. But their mom is left behind. Their grandmothers are left behind. Their dad even is left behind. Their aunts and their uncles and their family friends are all left behind trying to grapple with this. And I pray, Lord, that out of this would come a revival, that it would draw this entire family and friends and community closer to you as a result, and not drive a wedge between the Holy Spirit and the hearts of every single person involved. So Lord, I just pray that if it is at all possible that good would come out of this, Lord, that you would see to it that this would bring not just awareness to these types of issues, but deliverance from these types of issues. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
God, I lift up anybody here whose family members are suffering from psychosis or maybe on the brink themselves. I just pray that you bring them healing and
Amen.
peace. We don't have enough professional people, and some people can't afford help, and you have to go through insurance
And they're
things
embarrassed.
like that, and they're embarrassed
They don't want
to
to admit
ask
it.
for help. And so, Jesus, we know that there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother, and I ask, Father God, that you would be there for the broken-hearted, you would be there for the mentally incapacitated, that you would bring ministers of the Gospels in to cast out the demons, to give good counsel, and to help just revamp how we have children in this country. I think that's the number one thing that comes out of this, that we would recognize that women aren't designed to just go into the hospital, give birth, go home by themselves. It's wrong. We need community. You need somebody with you 24/7. You need somebody there to help you with your other kids. We have bifurcated our entire system where we say every family needs their own home, when we really need multi-generational homes where grandma's
Amen.
always there, or an aunt's there, and uncle's there, or somebody's there to
Share the
help.
load. Amen.
Sisters and brothers are so far away. It used to not be that you could live a whole state away from your sibling. Like, people were like living really close together. I mean, if you look at like civilization before cars, you are more in a densely populated area, and it was those women who were out in the middle of nowhere that suffered the most because they need help. And so I just thank you, Father God, for building community around
Amen.
moms and dads, and recognizing that it's not natural to go back to work after having a child, and you're supposed to be there and care for the child. And these are the conversations that the pink hairs and the liberal women will not have.
Amen.
And so I just rebuke and I bind every false narrative around this case. And I ask, Father God, that people's hearts would be open and say, we need to revamp how birthing is done, how parenting is done in this country. And I just pray, Father God, that you bring us peace and joy, and everybody else who is there watching right now who needs healing, that you bring them healing. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I just want to remind you guys that on Healing for the Fractured Soul, many, many episodes ago, we really showcased the importance of secure attachment and children being with their mom for the first 5 years of their lives. The good news is this: that message is getting out, but it's slow. And so we need, as a society, to make that a priority, to just as much as we would if you want to preach to somebody about eating clean, exercising, getting the chemicals out of their food, all of those things. We need to start preaching and ministering and letting moms know that not only do they have the right to stay home with their children, it is
they need to.
It is required. Their child needs it.
Yeah.
And they need it. I think we need to make that
Did
a
you
priority.
want to do an advertisement of any sort? You took off the $10 off on this. The
No,
hair
it's
serum.
still there.
No, I tried it the other day. It's
Oh,
not
it must
there.
have expired.
It expired.
I'll redo it. So the
Well,
hair
we can do
serum,
another sale.
I know, but I just put it in the email that would still, so I'll keep that going.
Okay.
The problem is that because of tomorrow and our craft show, I don't know that I'm going to have time to put another sale together. That one I
Okay.
can probably just go
Do
in
we
and
have
extend
comments
it.
that need to be read?
8-Ball says, thank you, sisters. And he paid for this comment. 8-Ball, thank you. It says, thank you, sisters, and everyone else here. God bless y'all. Have a blessed night and
8-Ball, you are
weekend.
so sweet.
Nana says, the Holy Spirit is the best counselor. Amen. You guys are like me tonight. Not a lot of comments. Cindy says, preach, Michelle. Christians need to speak into lives. We can do better. We absolutely can do better.
Yes.
Hot Diggity Dawn says, preach.
Life and death are in the power of the tongue. And
Amen.
just if he had been a Christian and a praying Christian, my wife is sound-minded. God, I think you're showing me where to go. All that I honestly, what I didn't see in any of this is the family stopping to really, did they bring in a priest or, do an exorcism or something,
I know. Okay. So really just a couple of announcements. And this is actually really important. So we have scheduled our chicken butcher. And I have put this on the website. So if you go to resistancechicks.com, the banner at the top is the, trying to see where I'm at here, is for so we're going to be doing this September 5th. I'm trying to get there. Resistancechicks.com. September 5th is our chicken butcher date. If you would like to, if you listen, I'm going to tell you this, don't drive more than 3 hours, but if you want to come,
it's just a small little
it's
class.
just, it's not a big deal, but if you live within 3 hours, you're allowed to come. If you do not, I'm telling you, no, don't make a big special trip about it, but
it's really for locals, guys.
It is, but you can click on this and it will take you to, let's see if so it's resistancechicks.com/chicken workshop 2026, but you can just go to resistancechicks.com and click on the banner. All of the information is there. There's even a video if you want to see it from when we've done it in the past. The schedule is there, and you scroll all the way to the bottom is how you register. And you will pay in person. You don't have to pay ahead on there. So if you live close enough to come and you would like to come, this will be Saturday, September 5th at 12 p.m. And we'll do a potluck at the end. So that's super fun. So as far as any kind of advertisements go, the hair serum is still on sale, the 2 and the 4 ounces.
Well, you can get a t-shirt.
And you can get our t-shirts. Our t-shirts are so fun. So shop.resistancechicks.com. I am almost sold out of the larges. I'm hoping to get more in I have to actually order them. So you go to Patriot Apparel under the shop button. Hopefully we'll do another t-shirt, but I do want to keep this one kind of always in stock. 1776 Resistance to Tyranny is obedience to God. That is our tagline.
Have we sold out of any sizes?
We've sold out of the double X's.
Okay. Are they not an option?
They probably still are an option, but I am sold out of them. But I'm hoping to order some more, so it'll probably be okay. The back says resist the devil and he shall flee. And then of course it has a nod to the 1776 and 250th. So super, super fun. If you guys did not get your t-shirts, please go ahead and get them.
Michelle will be back with us Sunday, but it'll be an early show.
Yes, what time are we doing that show on
Noon.
Sunday? Noon. So Sunday show will be an hour and a half early. We'll try.
It will be because we have a birthday party to go
Yes,
to.
it's Uncle Jack's birthday, so we're going to be going to his son's house to celebrate. So super exciting. Please don't forget to go and watch the interview that we did with Jennifer Benson, the lead singer
So
of
good.
Ignescent this week. That was in Place of Our Healing for the Fractured Soul. Phenomenal. We did put our soft top on the Jeep today, so I haven't uploaded that video, but I will probably.
And our Jeep is going to be for sale
Monday, and we are going to meet Peaches.
And you actually can drive far distance if you'd like to buy her.
You can, yeah. She's 1999 straight 6 4-cylinder. No, 4-liter 6-cylinder.
We're going to put her for sale soon. She's down
Yeah.
at the shop to figure out what her cough is all about.
Amen. All right. Okay. We love you guys. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. And we'll see you next time right here from resistancechicks.com.